Hi, Capped Cat. So what we're doing tonight, everybody, for those of you that feel like tuning in and watching and seeing what's happening, I'm doing a real quick live stream that's being recorded. And essentially, since YouTube hates live streams, I'm still doing it anyway, just for you guys. I'm recording it. It'll probably be on Teachable rather than or the YouTube main channel, with the reasoning being it'll be higher quality. And I'm just here to answer more in-depth questions, give you guys essentially what amounts to a 5 to 10 minute answer on anything real estate, finance specific. And with me having the Hillbilly Jumbotron in the background, we can actually go through and do browser searches, pull up MLS, do numbers together, whatever's going to make sense to try and get some education, some real estate education, finance, laundromat, whatever it is. We can talk about the YouTube channel a little bit if you guys want to, but I mean, I would not be interested in that. I mean, I'm more interested in the laundromat stuff or real estate stuff. I posted on my Instagram this morning. We are just kicking butt. I'm not kicking butt, I guess. I'm not kicking butt. My cousin's kicking butt on the crack house. And he asked me if we could tear up the floor inside the crack house, and I said, yeah, that's fine. We've never done concrete tear up out in a rental before or a property, but since we're flipping this one, I said, yeah, that's fine. And he found this piece of crap in there. This is field tile. They use this in farms, and they ran two water lines. One at least is from the shower. The other one might be a commode or something, and it's insane. But the market here in Central Ohio has not imploded due to coronavirus. So things are going actually really good with that one. And wish me luck tomorrow or Monday morning because I've got a property I'm looking at. It's a 3-bed, 1-bath on an acre for like nothing. So it's just crazy times here in Ohio. But that's always crazy times. It's just a little bit different. How do you rebuild bad credit? Well, I'll take that as the first question, and you're going to get a long answer. So here goes. If you're suffering from a credit problem, you've got to first go and figure out what the problem is. Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. If you have a Capital One credit card, they have something called Credit Wise. They all pull from one of the three agencies. Usually it's TransUnion or Experian. Usually those are two easy companies to get your actual credit score and report from. I really am a big fan of Credit Karma. So once you go on those websites, you have to see what the problem is. They usually will give you a list of creditors that have complaints against you. Some of those complaints I have personally found, because I did this with my wife after we got married, all I did was write a letter or go through the online steps asking them to verify whether those transactions were legitimate or not. Even if you have incurred a debt with potentially collections, some of those places will drop them if they've seasoned a couple years. I'm not saying to just go out and just try to get everybody to release your credit score digs, but that is a possibility. You can sometimes get people to release your credit score dings or collections without paying a single dime. On my wife, I think we paid $29.95 to some agency that just sent robo letters out to everybody, and it worked. She got like a 50-point increase on that. Okay, so once you've done that, what you need to do is you need to actually read through your credit report, and you need to see what the problem is. A lot of these places, they're like collections agencies. A collection agency buys debt. A collection agency is the job of making money off debt. So what they do is, let's say you have a unpaid credit card with Capital One or U.S. Bank or whatever it is. They will pay between 10 and 25 cents per dollar of debt that you have. So they have immediate incentive to settle that debt for less than what they paid for it. Some places you can settle debt for 25, 35% of face value. It varies from agency to agency very severely. Some will say, hey, we'll report you're in good standing if you start making payments. Sometimes they'll give you a discount on the debt you owe. Sometimes they won't. But as long as you start making payments or pay those off, your credit score will explode. If you still have collections and there is no way that you can settle them, like with ginormous medical debt, it tends to work really well with that. There's certain banks that they won't even include medical debt on their credit score surveys for you, but you can go in and shoot, I've lost my train of thought because this happens and it's live. So if you have medical debt, what you can do is go out and get a secured credit card. Capital One's the easy place. I guess Discover does it. You mail them like $200. When I say mail, you do an ACH or whatever. So you get set up with a secured debit card or a secured credit card, and then you just start making payments on it for a while. It builds up a positive pay history to try to negate the bad pay history you have. This works for medical debt. It can work for some college debt because depending on the lender, there are some credit score models that exclude medical debt right now and student loan debt. You need to try and figure out a way to satisfy either of those if you can do it. There's a lot of people I've met that are on student forgiveness forbearance programs to where you can get like a couple years without making payments on them. And sometimes they'll show us on-time payments. I don't know the specific agencies, but it can work. I've helped people in my family do it. You have to build a good payment plan, a good payment history. Credit cards are super easy to go out and get a whole bunch of them, 2, 3, 4 credit cards, make the minimum payment each month on a very small balance like you buy gasoline. If you have 4 credit cards with 4 different agencies, you can essentially get 4 positive pays a month. You could do that for a year. You have 48 on-time payments. It really will help your credit score a lot. That's if you have a bad credit score. You do it with one card if you don't have any credit score, but anymore I find that there's a lot of small credit unions that will they will let you get a loan for a house or whatever with no positive credit score. So there's some small credit unions that feel that having a non-existent credit score is better than a negative one. So hopefully that answers your question. And those are the kinds of questions I want to answer to the best of my ability. So yes, I talked to Ben Mulla today. Am I pressing charges? I already did. It's if you go to Instagram, and you all should be following me on Instagram, here I am with the thumb drive. The first thumb drive, I accidentally fell in the street, and it fell out of my hand and went in the storm drain. So I had to go back to my laundromat with another USB drive, stick it in the NVR system, and I downloaded it. So there I am at the police department, handing the thumb drive. That's like 5 minutes before I hand the thumb drive. Yes, I'm pressing charges. Meth heads that broke into the laundromat, no updates yet. We found the ginger guy because of YouTube people. I had a YouTube guy reach out. They've sent me his personal Facebook page. So that's cool. The other two we had within 38 minutes of the Twitch live stream. So you're a huge fan. You need advice to buy a house with no credit. Is it possible to get a loan with $10,000? Brandon, get on Teachable soon. It's investmentjoy.com/teach. If any of you guys like this style content where I answer your questions directly, and I'm going to answer your question in depth, Brandon Arledge, because YouTube doesn't like 30-minute videos. I would love to do 30-minute podcast-style videos. They suck with the algorithm, and that's just how it is. I mean, some people say, oh, you should leave YouTube, Brandon. YouTube gave me 238,000 subs. I can't complain too much, but I've got to do what they want. So with this live stream, we're going to cut it into little segments, and we're going to throw it up on Teachable. Okay, so back to Brandon Arledge's thing. And I've got a video sitting, and I'm worried that it's going to do poorly because it's me in front of Hillbilly Jumbotron here. You do not need a penny to do well in real estate. You don't need... Here, I got some in my machine here. This is about all you need to do well in real estate, if that. You need like $10-20. Because real estate is the wonderful thing about real estate, and it's the reason I am such a big fan, is real estate is a field that is based on hustle and knowledge, and it's not based on the money that you have, because it's relatively simple. And when I say simple, considering how much money there is, meaning trillions of dollars are out there, it's relatively simple and straightforward to go out and get investment money to go and buy properties. You don't need $10,000. I've done the story on my YouTube channel that a lot of you guys haven't watched, how I bought 3 rentals for $250. Now, I realize that story is a little bit more complicated than just saying, hey, $250. But realistically, you can go and you can ask someone to give you a master lease on a house for $1 or whatever. You have to find people that are in dire straits or distressed. They are going through some crazy times in their life and they want to get rid of a property. And I know for most people, it doesn't make any sense. Why would anybody give away a property? Why would anybody give away a house? But I promise you, they are all over out there where they throwing away, getting rid of, liquidating a piece of real estate for no upfront money, provides benefit to people that are out there, especially if you can say, hey, I'll make payments to you. I'll pay you $500 a month, $1,000 a month. Or just figure out some situation where you can provide benefit to somebody else for payments. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and do this without knowing a shred of real estate knowledge. I run into people that do these wholesale clinics. You see the ads on TV and YouTube, and you see the signs on the side of the road, and they say, make millions in real estate, no money needed. And what they tell you to do, and I'll do a video on it at some point with real estate wholesaling, is they're telling you just go out and find people that are in dire straits, wrap them up in like a sandwich lease, and then an option contract or an agreement to buy, sell the contract and make money off them. I am much more the mindset that you need to learn a lot of stuff in real estate, because once again, and I've got videos on this, you either develop your own knowledge or you pay for somebody else's knowledge. There's only two options there. So if you have a large asset, a large pool of knowledge about real estate, you don't need money, because you can start to set up deals. And I've done it all the time. The trailer park's a great example. You go out and you say, hey, I've got a project. It needs money. Would you want to fund me? Go find somebody with money, somebody that has time, and then, or knowledge, time, or whatever asset is the thing it is that you're lacking. If you have time and you have knowledge, then and you need somebody with money, those are relatively simple to find. But you have to be willing to throw the time and the effort in there. $10,000 is inconsequential. It just makes it a little bit easier the more money you have. I meet people that have millions of dollars and they fail because they have no knowledge and have no desire to work hard. So, hopefully that doesn't sound like too much BS and just saying, oh, achieve your dreams, blah, 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 blah. It's going to take a lot of research. And there's a lot of assets and resources on YouTube. I'm a huge, big fan of Bigger Pockets and the real estate investing subreddit on reddit.com. But you're just going to have to learn stuff so that you can find those deals where you have little money in them. So hopefully that answers your question, Brandon. That's kind of if I was to talk to myself 10 years ago, I would say find people that have property they have to get rid of for free, or that you can get in without any money out of your pocket. So, is there reasons I avoided the riots and protesting, or is it bad content? I don't know. It's kind of the reason that I'm here at the office right now. There was big talk of doing a riot down where the laundromat is. I think that it was all just BS and it's not going to happen. We'll see, but if I have to, I'll switch the live stream over to my phone or whatever. I should probably charge it. I'm going to plug my phone in right now. But it's just, I don't know. And I don't know about the social, political stuff, because I lose subscribers every time I open my mouth about anything political. And it blows my mind that Meet Kevin does a lot of political content and he gets subs for it. Maybe I should do that too, because I have political thoughts too. But since day one, essentially, I've been told by people, hey, stay away from the political stuff. So I'm reading your comments again. Yeah, I was on Ben Mala today on his podcast, starting at minute 22. I gave him a real dumb question about management. I'm sure I'll have a management video. I'm currently trying to outsource my management, part of my portfolio. I'm trying to free myself up so I can spend 100% of my time on the trailer park. The trailer park's finally making good progress. I just don't know when I'm going to have content about the trailer park in the future. I've had some crazy situations down there with people, and it's just like I could get a lot of views over the drama, but I don't want to. I mean, I don't want to make money off of some of these people's misery. So that's what it comes down to. Yeah, I Post Malone, no updates right now with him. I'm just waiting on hearing back from the police. There's no call-in number. I just read your comments here on YouTube, and I try to answer them in a 5 to 10 minute format. If there's a spider, that's cool. Maybe it'll kill me. My wife will get my insurance money. I've got a 1-year plan, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, 20-year plan, 30-year plan. That'll take me to I got a plan about 40 years out. So, yeah, we're down this month on rent. I've got more move-outs this month, but we've been pretty good overall. Taking money out of a 401k to invest in a condo. I would not be opposed to it as long as you have got a good handle on how to handle the real estate, how to handle your assets and your money. If you can make more money than what you perceive the stock market to, I don't see it as being a huge problem. I do run into people that get great returns on 401ks and then they put it in a real estate investment that does terrible. Not saying that's your case, but it's just something to be aware of. Yeah, see, I try to be, I hate to use the term politically correct, but I try to see everything from everybody else's side. Although I'm passionate about stuff personally, I try to be more middle of the road when I talk to people. And it seems like if you're middle of the road trying to say, oh, but I see it from your side about this specific topic, you just make everybody mad because they say, why can't you agree with me? And then I get, to me, politics and stuff like that is such a nuanced situation. It's a nuanced topic. And you have a lot of people out there talking about cancel culture. That's a big thing. I have an opinion on something I like to term clip culture. It's where everything in society tries to get condensed to a 60-second TikTok, a hashtag campaign. I'm probably getting on dangerous ground here. A hashtag campaign or a 10-minute YouTube video. And it's like, if you've got a political situation or an economic situation or anything like that, the only way I would want to handle it would be like an 10-hour podcasts, like Joe Rogan type debates between people on every side of the topic. I think that's how the only way that we can really solve problems. And yet the vast majority of people don't want that. They want something that they can watch that's 10 minutes long and makes them feel good about themselves, especially if it confirms their already existing bias, which that's just garbage. But it is what it is. Hey, if you guys do me a favor, hit the like button on this. We're at 150 current viewers, which is actually really good. Follow me on Twitch too. I'm debating on doing a premium content series on Twitch because I didn't know if you guys knew this, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can essentially do premium Twitch subscriptions for Twitch creators. And I thought, man, if I could get like 10,000 people to subscribe to me on Twitch with the premium deal, I could do so many insane real estate projects. It would be like, doing the paid courses that who does, that they make you pay, $100 a month for or whatever. I mean, I've got my own mentorship deal for $49.95, but I actually call people on that one and we talk on the phone. Not plugging that. I'm just saying that's the only monetization that I have other than videos. But I thought, man, I could really do a good course for the just Twitch Prime subs, which are free if you have it. So, who's a fraud? Who's a fraud? Would I have a fan meetup? Absolutely. It's just with 280,000 subscribers and you sit down and you figure out, I can't get a message out to everybody. I've said before on here that I would just love to do like a meetup in Columbus or Cincinnati and then just like rent a tour bus, which I actually looked at a tour bus recently. It was from the Coda bus line up in Columbus. And I mentioned to some people, I was like, man, I should just buy that bus and we could do real estate tours and we could go through really bad neighborhoods or out in the country and I could fill a bus load full of fans and we just go look at houses. If we could do that, I would do that in a heartbeat. I don't want to do like if we do a fan meetup, I want like one of those booths where you have to catch $1 bills and stuff like that, or pseudo laundromat collection. I don't know how to run that because the thing is, like, I'm doing this YouTube crap while I have a full-time job of laundromats and rentals. And it's like, you notice some inconsistencies. That's why I have the studio here. I'm very inconsistent about content because essentially my channel's when I pull out my phone and start recording. Now, I did go get some GoPros and I'm really enjoying these. This is not a GoPro plug, although if they want to sponsor me, they can. But it's like I'm starting to keep a couple of these around and just put them on my head whenever stuff gets weird. So then I have both hands to, close doors and lock things and run away and stuff. So how much capital do I think it's needed to establish a profitable business? I already answered that. If you're able to rewatch the live stream, which will probably cut into segments on Twitch, it's all about your knowledge and how much you have to hustle. It's less about money because you can always go out and get money. Fourplexes, VA home loan, want a house, your advice. I've already done several videos on house hacking with FHA loans. VA loans are not much different. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think every human being, if you're a millennial or Gen Z, you're under the age of 40 and you're looking at a house or real estate, you should be saving up and learning what you need to get a FHA or VA loan or a low down loan. Buy a duplex, live in it for a while, and then after, with at least with FHA, you live in it for 12 months, then you can move somewhere else. If my understanding is right, that's exactly what Graham Stephan has done since day one. He bought a duplex for himself, and where he is, it's worth like $800K. So, how are the hotels doing in our area? Not well. I'm actually, are you friends with somebody if they talk to you on Facebook and they talk to you and you share memes together? Because I know a guy that owns multiple hotels in Cincinnati and he's building one here in town, and he's been kind of updating everybody every few days on what he's doing. He's suffering, but he is not broke yet. He is not going bankrupt. But I've seen on some of the big commercial liquidation networks, that there are big hotels that are going up for auction. So I'm going to try and read through this. With the guys, I have submitted to the police what's happened because the guy that owns the machine, he wants to get him charged. So part of what I can do is mine. Part of what I can do is can't. I did fail to mention, because I didn't have the full video log. Post Malone came back a third time. We didn't see that in the stream, and he came back a third time with a 2x4 and pried the whole front of the machine off. So so you come around 3 times to break crap, I'm going to throw the book at the guy. So one guy came off with a $500 to $1,000. So have I ever had to use a gun at a property? No, not at all. You hear that, YouTube algorithm? I've never done that. Okay? That answers your question. Brandon, you own 5 rentals, personal loan, $350K equity, rent roll around $4K a month. It's ever okay to pay fair market value and personal loan to live in? I mean, if your aspiration is to live in a nice house and you're already like kind of financially free, that's up to you. I can't tell you what to do. You're already ahead of a lot of other people because you have assets. And you have cash flow coming in from a property. So if that's what you want to spend your money on, Ben Mala, when I did the call on his thing, he's like, you should be on a beach in the Caribbean. It's like, I don't have much aspirations for that. I want a giant pool. I don't want a lazy river through my living room. I would like a pool that I could invite the kids in my neighborhood and my kids' friends over to swim once in a while. That's my aspiration, and I will pay market value for that. My own house... Yeah, I won't pay market value for that. So, I answered the question, and it was clear as mud. I like Warzone rentals. I mean, that's kind of what a lot of people consider my rentals in. I feel like I'm able to mitigate the risk. The trailer park's crazy, though. And the trailer park, statistically, is in a great neighborhood. It should technically be in a better neighborhood than the rest of my places. But I should have just gone through and evicted a bunch of people. So... Why don't I play guitars for you guys anymore? I've done it on probably 24 live streams. So I moved my office, and I did not bring the Bugera here. I brought just my PV XXL, and I forgot the 1/4-inch cords. So I've got guitars here that I could play, but they're going to be essentially like this. So you can't really hear it too well. I do it. I can or will do it on Discord more, but it's just one of those things. And it's falling, of course. So, invest ethically. Recent events has you questioning your choices. Want to improve the world and make money. I don't know. It depends on your ethics and your level of morality as you would define them and how you want to help the world. I've got like a big banner project that I'm rolling like, you know how I do shout outs? I've saved all my money that I've got from like Raid Shadow Legends and Ridge Wallets and stuff. I've essentially set back all that money, and I've got like a really nice pet project we're going to be starting on really soon. I'm debating on hiring a professional videographer for it because it's going to be super cool. It's going to be one of those like big, giant projects I've always wanted to do and help the world. And it depends on what you want to do where you perceive your ethics. My ethics, my worldview is a lot of the world's problems come down to money. And money is not a bad thing. I'm religious. A lot of people say money is the root of all evil. That's not what it says. It says that the love of money is the root of all evil. Nothing is wrong with money because money is just a time value widget. It's just the condensation of what value you're providing and over a span of time. That's it. Money's indifferent. The problem is in society is when you get obsessed with money and what it can do for you. And it's usually about material possessions or what it can buy you to elevate your personal status. But I find that when people engage in wealthy thinking, long-term thinking, their lives tend to improve a lot better. There's a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck. And growing up in a household where it was always paycheck to paycheck, and there was a lot of times there was no paycheck to be had. My parents had no money. It was stressful for them, and it was stressful for me as a kid, wondering if we're going to get kicked out again. But I find that when I hang around wealthy people and they don't have the concern for paycheck to paycheck, and they're planning 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years out, your capability or ability to make moral decisions changes. Case in point, Post Malone. Who knows what he wanted that big, delicious baby bathtub of quarters for? Maybe he was going to use it for some spoons. Maybe he wanted to smoke some rocks. Maybe he was going to go down to the gas station on the corner of 2nd Bridge and find a lady of the evening. I don't know what he was doing with that money, but only a person who has no care whatsoever for the future would make a decision like that. We're going to be doing a video series here soon on a personal friend of mine that I kind of grew up with. He just like 2 weeks ago, got out of federal prison for being caught with 100 kilograms of either MDMA or ketamine. It was some sort of drug. And he got caught with it, and the street value of that gigantic box was over $2 million. And you sit down and you talk to him, and he tried to go through the logic of it with me. And I'm like, the time you're going to spend in jail totally supplants the amount of money that you would have made in the real estate transaction. And he said, but I felt like I was out of time and I had to pay off student loans. So it's going to be a great video series. I promise you guys, the guy that sold drugs to pay for student loans. And he is like one of the coolest, smartest guys you'll ever meet. But he made a decision because he felt like the walls were closing in and he had to pay student loans and some other bills. So he resorted to selling illegal drugs. I find that a lot of people make that decision, and it's not always so much a dire struggle of ethics with robbing quarters off a hillbilly laundromat owner who just happens to have 4K cameras. People make all these dumb decisions, and it's because they don't engage in long-term thinking. But every big-time real estate investor I know says in order to be successful and wealthy, you have to engage in long-term thinking. You have to be thinking 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, like we've already talked about in the live stream, because then you start saying, okay, I'm going to save 5% of my income. I'm going to start saving 10% of my income. Yes, I know I could invest in My Little Pony pillows for my bed. Yes, I could invest it. I could buy the next season of Pokemon in 4K, Ultra HD. I could spend my money that way, but instead I'm going to put in a 401k that's boring. It's not as fun, but that's long-term thinking. So to me, a lot of the world's ills could be solved just through financial education. I know this is a long, drawn-out response, but I see that we're gaining concurrent viewers, which is really cool. So hit that like button if you already haven't. But you've got to figure out what your morality view is on everything. I care about my community. I know that I can't solve the drug problem. I send a lot of people to drug counselors and stuff. And at some point, I've got to realize that's them. It's not me. So, and I've just got to try and show them, the way. And then that's it. So, what's my dream goal? I already shared my dream goal. I just want like the biggest pool. I'll show you what I want. And it is total hillbilly. I've got to buy an excavator to do it. I want an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So I want to try to find one of these right now. I want to get a Olympic-sized swimming pool, but I want it to be a indoor natural pool. And I don't even know if you can do these, but I've been told they do it in Europe. And with a indoor natural pool, the water is essentially so clean you can drink from. And there's this stuff called permaculture where you build an ecosystem in your yard or inside a building to where you have self-sustaining food. And I would love to introduce some permaculture ideas that I have to Ohio, and it's going to kill all my birds with one stone. Indoor swimming pool, high quality water, and just like do everything at once. Yes, we're in the process of pressing charges with Post Malone. I've answered that like 100 times now. I don't teach finance in high school. I mean, I would if they would ask me, but my wife and I homeschool our kids, and we have something called a homeschool co-op, and we actually would have done it on the YouTube channel had we not had coronavirus. We had to shut everything down. So I teach kids about economics and starting businesses, and what I want to do is start a summer club. I wanted to do it this year, but it's not going to happen. But if we get the streamer car, we're going to do it next year or maybe in the fall, where I take groups of kids and we go out to the slums, the bad neighborhoods, and we look at how real estate affects people's lives and how poor life choices result in the degradation of real estate, the degradation of communities, and how it's bad for people. But when you engage in long-term thinking, like I've already said half a dozen times, you can be successful over time. Hey, 205 people, cool. Yeah, it's like a mini lake, and what you do is you cycle your water from the bottom pool up through your, like a ring on this side, and what it is this is a natural filter. And it's how underground aquifers work. Groundwater or surface level water filters down through the ground, through dirt, sand, gravel areas, and you end up in an aquifer, and the water's clean enough to drink. My house is built over an aquifer that's so high quality, I could sell my water from my faucets. My water is so clean in my house, it's unbelievable. But I live in a really weird geological formation called... Part of it's the Taze Valley Aquifer, but I want to say the second part of it's like the Amanda Hills Aquifer. So a lot of you have probably drank spring water from the region of my state of Ohio because it's some of the cleanest water in the United States. So what you do is you make your own filtration system naturally, and you just cycle through an electric pump from a containment pond up to the top. And the water's so clean you can drink, but you can also raise crazy animals in it because the water's so clean. So, you're at $5,300 on Weebles. Thank you. Yay, cool. Your favorite YouTuber based on your honesty and reliability. You're 20 years old. Stable, thanks to you. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you had really great luck with Weeble. It's one of Weeble's really good. I'm going to do a series on making your own money soon with M1 Finance. Don't sign up to M1 Finance, but I wrote a book on making your own money years ago, and no one read it. So I am redoing the book and just doing it on YouTube on how to make your own money. How you can this is heavy economic stuff. How you can make your own gold-backed money or silver-backed money or whatever you want in the digital age. A lot of people like Bitcoin, gold, silver, and stuff, but they hate having wealth stored in Federal Reserve notes. I don't want to, maybe I should get into that topic. Like Marco with Whiteboard Finance, I think Marco's the big one. He talks a lot about the Federal Reserve and like federal banking and stuff like that. A lot of people want to have gold and silver currency, and essentially I'm going to do a video series on how to do that. But it works with Apple Pay, and Google Pay, and Samsung's Pay, and all that crazy stuff. So you can buy... I don't know. You can buy big gulps at Speedway when they come back after the Rona's over. You can buy big gulps with gold-backed currency. So I'm going to do a video series on that. It'll be kind of cool. Yes. Well, I don't know if I can do a fall over. I probably could show you guys how to set up a Dogecoin-backed dollar. I really like Dogecoin. I remember when it came out. Yeah, you could have crypto-backed currency that you make yourself. It's so easy in the digital age. So, do I ever vacation? Not really. The last vacation I had was to Kingsport, Tennessee, and it was to buy hot water heaters for the laundromat. So, You invested with Webull. Thanks for the motivation. Cool. If you haven't got signed up to Webull, let me go grab my link. You guys should sign up. I get paid a little bit of money if you do. This is where I should really kind of tell you guys, oh, they're better than everybody else. That's not true. They're really good though. And unlike Robinhood, which I don't want to beat, I'll probably get sued by them if I say, it's not that Webull's terrible, but they're also not that good. And I do not like platforms that endlessly push out options. All right, I'm going to drop this link for Webull here. You sign up, you deposit some money, I get some money too. Anyway, and help support the channel. It'll help with the big project that we'll be doing on the video, the channel here soon. So, I'll talk about the newspaper here in a minute. Comes back to ethics. But am I ever going to... I'm so lost now. I do not have a favorite Spice Girl. If I had a favorite Spice Girl, it would probably be Scary Spice because that's the only one I could think of. But I don't vacation like ever. We're supposed to go to Disney World at some point. What was the book and title? I can't even remember. It's on KDP. Don't I have a fan? I'm sweating like crazy. I'm in a studio right now with no air conditioning. I have a fan. Hold on. There's no air conditioning and no insulation, and it was 95 degrees. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see my fan? I have a fan right here. Oh my gosh, my lights. I'm going to kill my lights. Crap. I have a fan. I'm worried that it'll be too loud for you guys. So I'm suffering for you guys. Just make sure that you understand that that's my resolve here. I care about you and I want to respond. So anyway, I like Webull, but scary stories of tenants. There's my scariest stories I'm going through right now that I can't talk about. So let me see. I'm trying to... I really have no interest in investing internationally because I have a hard time comprehending even British or Canadian real estate law. Every country is very different when it comes to real estate laws and how they look at them. Even from state to state in the United States, it's very different. So from my perspective, it's just one of those things where you've got to be careful. I want to turn the fan on. See, tell me how loud it is, guys, and if it's very distracting. It's on low. So, because I'm now suffering a lot. So, I feel like it's super important to know a lot about the law and how real estate works in your area. So it's just something that I don't think that I would have enough time to invest internationally. Especially, I just want to invest in Ohio, Southern Ohio. I don't want to even invest in Cleveland. I want to invest where I live because I can see benefit to my local community. So, do I have a troll? I am sure that I do. There are so many people that send me nasty messages or post nasty comments because they feel that they have discovered some sort of little secret. They've picked up on some secret thing that I've said in my videos and that, they can prove that I'm a fraud or I've this or that or whatever. And the worst thing is it took 3 weeks of YouTube to get to that point where I was getting nasty messages. So I have no interest in Roblox. Our Minecraft server is already plenty of drama. I will do an update here soon with Minecraft, and it's just insane. How did I meet Kevin? He just sent me a message on Instagram and said, hey, you want to do a collab? I'll fly out to Ohio. So that's how I met him. He just messaged me on Instagram and said, hey, you want to get together? I've had messages from a lot of big YouTubers. I found out that if Kevin would have waited 1 week to get a ticket, Graham and Jack would have flown out to Ohio to meet me. I could not believe that. I was like, are you kidding me? Jack told me that if Jack's telling me the truth, Jack Selby, he's the guy on Graham's podcast that does a lot of his back end stuff. So I found out that Graham was going to come out and do videos with me. I was like, oh no! That's nothing against Kevin. Kevin's a great guy. The stupidest thing with that whole collab with me and Meet Kevin was I did not record crap. It was amazing. Serious question. Do you think there will be somewhere discounts for rental property due to the plague thing? Nope. At least not in the state of Ohio. I do think that you're going to see a large reduction in values like in New York City and New Jersey. There's going to be some markets that are just wiped out or heavily hit due to coronavirus. My area of Ohio is not one of them. Our prices have not, they have been stagnant during coronavirus. They have not gone down. And people were lining up to buy crap loads of properties during coronavirus, calling their agent, just give me the key so I can go look at it. That's what's happened. And it always upsets me when I see videos on YouTube or I talk to people and they don't try to pound home the fact that real estate is local. Real estate is not this even regional thing. The market in Columbus, Ohio is not Cleveland. The market of Columbus is not Cincinnati. It's not Dayton. Where I live right outside Columbus, Ohio is different than other parts of the state. And a lot of people would say, oh, it's Ohio. We have like 5 or 6 major geographically definable regions in the state of Ohio. So it would be so asinine. Can I use that word on YouTube? Let's see. Will I get demonetized? Did I use it in the right context? Extremely stupid or foolish. Okay, cool. It's very asinine for people to tell people this is what you have to do in real estate. The market's going to go down. Prepare for the worst. The real estate recession of 2020 or 2021 or 2019. There's always doom and gloomers that are saying that the end is near. Well, guys, guess what? During the recession, there were 2008, 2009, 2010, there were plenty of markets that did not feel anything. Seattle, Washington was one of them. I went on my honeymoon in 2008 or 2009, late 2008, late 2009, during the mortgage crisis to Seattle. You could not see a single part of the city that did not have a gigantic crane building an apartment complex. They didn't get hit. In the past 3 or 4 years, Seattle real estate, at least analytically and procedurally, has started to slow down. Meanwhile, you have areas like Columbus, Ohio that are freaking on fire. We are like 15 years ahead of where they thought that we would be with real estate growth. So, it's just one of those things. You have to look at your own market and you have to make a decision as to what makes sense in your own marketplace. And that's where it's hard for Hillbilly Brandon Laundromat Man to tell you what to do. So, you live in Pickerington, so you're not far from me at all. So, yeah, real estate's going to change due to coronavirus. But it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be a widespread, everything is bad. I did talk to guys that work at Nationwide Insurance up in Columbus, Ohio. And they said not to be morbid, but coronavirus has been one of the best things that's happened to them. Let me see if I'll show you the place up in Columbus. They've got this gigantic place downtown. Okay. There we go. See that? Ain't that beautiful? I'll go back to the last page. So that's one of the big places in Columbus, Ohio. Downtown is Nationwide Plaza, I think it's called. And they have sent everybody to work from home. And I've talked to all these people, and they say, let's never go back to working at this big, giant building. Maybe we can get away with only 1 or 2 days a week because we get more work done at home than we ever did driving up to the place. And in this conversation, I was talking with people, other people were talking with people that were working at Nationwide. Someone responded, and they were like, but my cousin sells hot dogs in front of the building. He's going to go bankrupt. So it's one of these stupid things. It's like, so things are going to change. Will that piece of real estate still have value in Columbus? Heck yeah. What will the value be? No one knows. I don't know. But for the suburbs of Columbus, it's going to be kind of positive because those guys are going to have to drive up to downtown anymore. And I've heard that some of the high-rise Columbus condos are starting to go down value a little bit because people are seeing that maybe living downtown's not as good as it used to be. But that's just what it is. So how did I fare during the great toilet paper famine of 2020? I did fine. We actually have one of the largest toilet paper plants in my town. It didn't help us a lot, but it gave me hope that I could hijack a semi-trailer should it be needed. Yeah, Kevin and Graham went to Detroit. It was kind of interesting. So I want to buy rentals within at max 35, maybe 40 minutes of where I live. So I don't think the people that watch my videos have any interest in robbing my laundromat. I don't think anybody wants to be that famous because I've had that conversation because I also own a newspaper. And it's nice going to a restaurant and someone saying, I saw your newspaper article about the boys that went to your laundromat, ripped that off, and if I ever see them, I'm going to punch them. Okay, cool. I don't think people want that kind of attention. If it was for fame and fortune and robbing a laundromat, yeah, that could make some sense. But when you've got people in a small community in Ohio and they will not take care of that person that robs somebody, it gets pretty bad. So that's my opinion. Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, a lot of desk jobs can be done from home. A friend of mine works for the Department of Energy, and they found out that a lot of people can work from home, and they don't need cubicles. So, yeah, there's a lot of funeral homes that are just unbelievably busy due to coronavirus. Now, and here's how weird everything is. My grandma got a virus in mid-January. And she never recovered from it. She died mid-February, and when that happened, everybody in the family was like, it was just some virus. We get them all the time, and she just passed away. It compromised her immune system, just took all of her energy out, and she died. So, and then when coronavirus hit, it was one of those things where, okay, Ohio was not. I will answer the 15-year-old question here in a second. Everybody's like, well, okay, whatever. Coronavirus wasn't in Ohio till late March. Now we go back and look. It's like, oh, okay. But from what I've seen in even a small community, it's really changed how healthcare is utilized in a neighborhood. And it's just very odd. People that I know were scared to death to go to the ER for a broken leg, tried to set it themselves. Tip for a 15-year-old, just try and learn everything you can and get in the habit of saving money. So many people that I run into that are 15, they blow all their paycheck because they say, I don't know what to do with it. So they buy dumb crap with it. So they go to Chipotle every single lunch and spend money. They drink nonstop Monsters, which of course I'm at fault for doing that. But they don't save money. So then when they find themselves in their mid-20s, they have no war chest to rely on to go out and buy things and invest. So that's just one of those things. Get in the habit of saving money. Try and put it in an investment account. Try and get a parent or somebody to open up an investment account, buy Vanguard funds. I'm doing really well on my Vanguard stuff right now. So you look at the DSCC Whitehall, 4 cars parking lot on weekdays. Yeah, I'm sure you've met hundreds of people that I know. From home with remote simulators. Office space will be reworked to residential if more and more people work from home. Yes, I do. I think we're going to see a decline in office space. Definitely some declines and some weird changes in hotels. I figure we'll see some bankruptcies, but then we'll see other agencies and entities make a lot of money. We're going to see a lot of people go bankrupt that were severely over-leveraged and not doing Airbnb smartly. Nothing against Airbnb. I think you can make crap loads of money off doing Airbnb rentals, but I just started running into, let me put it this way. This is no offense to the guy, but if Ty Lopez is selling a course on how to make money with an Airbnb rental, knowing that I don't think he has any experience in real estate whatsoever, I know that people are over leveraging and they're doing the wrong thing. I will be doing some Airbnb videos and some Airbnb content here soon, how I would do it. Sean has done great. So, yes, a war chest. A big, gigantic basket of money that you can utilize to start a business or do whatever it is when you get to the point in life you know what you should be doing. At 15, it's very hard, I think, in my opinion, to know exactly what it is you're good at and what you should do. So, I'm reading comments now. My first group of, no, pretty much I don't know. I never knew any of my investors in the real world till they invested money, other than the landlord that I had when I was a kid. He's the landlord that kicked us out when I was 6. He had been following me on Facebook for 4 or 5 years and said, hey, Brandon, I'm going to give you some money. So, big fan, $10K in savings, and you think you should invest and continue to save more. I would invest it in like Vanguard type funds if you can. Save some of the cash back, but I would not have a problem putting money in the stock market right now because that's what I'm doing right now. I've done several videos on investing during coronavirus, and the videos essentially were just invest on a regular basis as much money as you feel comfortable with. The markets might go up, they might go down, but if you're consistent about it, you'll do fine. I took my own advice, and I'm up like 25%. So, yeah. Cemeteries are a weird thing to get into in investments. I would love to do a series or do some investigation on them. I don't understand how they can be a good play unless there's some county tax money for upkeep. You get a big upfront payment, and theoretically, you should be able to buy like annuities for grounds maintenance and things like that. But from what I see, it's almost to a point that you can take the money and run. And from my grandma and grandpa are buried, they did that. The guy declared bankruptcy and took $250,000 or $350,000. So, do I play RuneScape? No, I do not. RuneScape was one of those things before my time, before I had good internet access at an office to play or whatever. So, refinish hardwood floors in a rental, cover with vinyl plank. It just depends on how bad the floors are. We've refinished some floors, and the expense of it was very high. It was nice when they were done, but man. What are the permits that you need to open up a laundromat? In my area, all we needed was a fire occupancy inspection. They just came by and told us whether we were going to catch on fire or not, and the answer was yes, so we had to fix things. That was like $150. So, I think I've answered all the questions that I saw, so. Take an ex-con or struggling kid, mentor them from 0 to 6 figures, and record it all. I think that would be great. I would love to go up to Columbus and do that. It's just, as it is right now, like I said at the onset of the YouTube live stream, as it is right now in my life, what I have a problem is, all this YouTube crap that I do, I am doing it while effectively working a full-time job, managing my rentals, managing the laundromats, and it's just, I'm trying to fit doing YouTube while I do everything else, and that's why I've really had to slow down to try and get my the trailer park worked on, and hire a manager, which we've been just full blast on that, making great progress. But man, it's just hard to manage everything, do everything at the same time. I was on the Ben Mala show today around timestamp about 22 minutes in. I asked him about managing, so. 401ks, sure, because you can roll a 401k over to a self-directed 401k. You can use that money to buy real estate. You can do some crazy stuff with a 401k. I would love to do videos on it, but I don't want to be sued. I know guys that are making millions off of investing in real estate options through IRAs and 401ks. It depends on the new laundromat. You're asking about whether you should buy a new laundromat or an existing one. Of the 3 laundromats that I have, you only see content on one because the other 2 suck. They're garbage, and they're not done fixing them up yet. And it's at this point, I was really asking myself 2 weeks ago whether we're ever going to finish them. I will be doing a video soon. Investing in private prisons, that's your own moral and ethical deal. I'm not going to give any advice there. I need a camera crew. I thought that I had a kid to follow me around for $8 an hour, but he got a real job because he found a job he could do during coronavirus, and his parents didn't want him filming Hillbilly Brandon. So congratulations, you live in Ohio. I've got a guy out of Grove City that will do professional video content, but it's about $250 a day, and my videos don't make $250 a day right now, so why do it? So I'm trying to find someone to go around with some of these cameras. Like I said, I bought some GoPros, so now they're going to be on Hillbilly Brandon's head in the future, recording content with these. And then what I'd like to do is have one on my head and then a film crew so you guys can see what I'm doing from my view, and then you can see it from a third-person perspective. So I think that'd be fun. See, with the YouTube live stream delay, the funny thing is you guys are laughing at something I said. I don't know what I said. So... gas station, a good move. It can be. I've looked at a few gas stations, but man, everybody gets scared to death about underground tank leasing and underground tank situations. In the state of Ohio, they require you buy insurance, and after 20 years, they dig the tank up. It's not really insurance. It's more like a bond. That they dig the tank up after 20 years, and they put a new one in. Thanks from a fellow Brandon. Yay, Brandon's everywhere. Do I do stock valuations? Just swing with index and mutual funds. I only invest. I say it in my videos only to invest in funds. I do break that rule, and I love Tesla and Amazon, and I like Apple. I'm not a super huge fan of Apple, and I like Google. So I buy those kinds of tech stocks. So. What do I use to edit my videos? Right now, I use DaVinci Resolve. When I started off in the first video that went viral, I used my cell phone to edit it. And goes to show you, it doesn't matter what it is. For a while, I used OpenShot, and OpenShot sucks. DaVinci Resolve's great, and it's free. And since I'm all about thrift and saving money, I love DaVinci Resolve. So, what's my net worth right now? Let's see. I should know this number I should know this number like immediately. Can you see this on Hillbilly? At least this was pre-corona. It's about that. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. 2.35 million-ish. It's around there. It is whatever it is. I'm hoping to pay down. I would like to get under $1 million in what I owe this year, but I don't know. So, ice cream trucks or investing in a restaurant. I hate restaurants. Scare the crap out of me. I've looked at the books of multiple restaurants, and only one of them was really okay. Two Subways were great. Another 2 Subways sucked. One restaurant that was a bar/restaurant, it had great books. And then every other restaurant I've looked at, which I can't think of, I've looked at like 2 or 3 pizza stores and a nice sit-down restaurant. The best restaurant in the region of the state, Brandon. You should buy it because everybody loves it and it'd be a great investment for you. It lost 200. Worst year was 200,000 a year. The best year was 50,000 a year. And they were sure that Hillbilly Brandon Laundromat man. Granted, this is before Laundromat. They said that I could turn the restaurant around, even though I have no experience in doing that. I don't know. I really don't know why. Fans back on. I don't know why anybody would think that I could turn around a restaurant, but the books are terrible on it. So, yeah, I will take. If I have to count a lot, I will take my shoes off. But here's the thing, guys. If I have to take my shoes off and start counting, and I want. Here, I'll show you real quick how you count with your feet. But if you want to see my feet, you're going to have to subscribe to my OnlyFans because I've got to bring in the big bucks for that. But I'm going to show you something, and it's the way. I'll turn this off because this is important here. I'll show you the way that my dad told me to count to 1,000 with your feet. And I was like, Dad, this is stupid. Whatever. So my dad's grandpa was like his best friend. My great-grandpa, my dad's grandpa, died 1 week after Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, so mid-1969. He grew up on a farm in southeastern Ohio, middle of nowhere, and grew up raising cattle and corn and all this stuff. Make sure you like the video, too. It'll boost up in the ratings. And so he started off with cattle, and he told my dad the craziest thing about my life is he went through World War I, got a house, indoor plumbing, electrical, saw World War II, flew in airplanes, and then saw a man land on the moon. So he went from horseless to the moon and died. So my dad said, I'll show you how to count to 1,000 with your feet. And I was like, Dad, this doesn't make sense. So there's an American way to count with your hands and a European way. My wife always does the European way. And I don't understand it because when I count to 5 or 10, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My wife throws a fit and she says it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's another way to do it. I don't understand how to do it. So you do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've counted to 10 with our fingers. So then people assume, and you're close, that I would have to take off my shoes and count to 20 with my shoes. That's not how it works. You can count to 1,000 with your shoes because everybody's thinking with doing just how everybody else does it. My dad showed me the way that his grandpa, the farmer, did things. So you've got number 1, which is this. It's called knuckle counting. So you're like this. And I can't move my fingers like my dad could. So you've got 1. This is number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And I see I can't do this. It's like doing the peace sign, our Star Trek Live Long and Prosper. I can't move my finger. It took a lot of practice to do the Spock sign. So I can't do it like my dad did it. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your pinky's half up. 7, 8. Half of your knuckle. 9, 10. So you've counted from 0 to 10 on one hand. So yeah, feet are all over OnlyFans. But what I really honestly get in OnlyFans, I had someone offer me $20 to rub grape jelly on my shoes if I ever do a live stream on OnlyFans showing you how to count with your toes. I don't think that's high enough. Need like $100. Okay, so we've counted from 0 to 10 with our hand. So now we come over to our second hand and we add this. So in one hand we've counted to 10. Now we're back to 0. We're at 10. So now this is our tens position. 1's position, 10's position. So now we count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we go over to our left hand or our other hand. It's your right, left hand. I don't know. I will get back to you Applejacks here in a second. I want to show you guys how to count. So now you add to your tens hand. So now you're at 20. So now we're at 20. And it goes on. You count from 1 to 10, and then you add it to the tens column on your hand. So then you can count. So when this hand is full of tens and this hand is full from your ones, then you carry over to your feet. I can't even. Okay. Imagine I'm lifting my feet up in some aerobic manner. So then your feet are hundreds, and you can count with this method to 1,000 using your feet. And it's how my great-grandpa would do horse trading and all this crazy stuff, doing math with his fingers and toes. If you've ever seen how an abacus works, it's the same way. It's just crazy cool. It's amazing. Can I play Shine On Crazy Diamond in a vid? I could. I like Pink Floyd, so. Oh, I lost 20 concurrent viewers because I was telling you how to count. Okay, we'll go back to questions and answers. So, if you were to buy property in another state, what would you invest in? Why would you? How would you find laundromats? For laundromats, I would say just call everybody in a geographic area that you would be interested in buying them in, and ask them to buy. If you can't do that, then you got to research and find a way to evaluate them. Vending machine business with one machine. Sure, why not? So. An auction franchise, online auction house that sells people stuff, has big base of buyers between multiple locations. Sure, ask to see their books and figure out how you can improve it. There's so many businesses that are poorly run that you can improve. A friend of mine right now is looking at buying a real deal factory that makes stuff. And they were doing $35 million a year in sales, and now they're down to $500,000. And he's considering buying a factory to resurrect it. It's totally cool. Felons from the last laundromat. No updates other than I took a USB stick to. That's what this picture is in the background. Took it to the police. I want to show you guys how to count. Yeah, with your feet. Because a lot of people don't know how to count with their feet on YouTube. I could try and pull a Mr. Beast and count to 1,000 with my fingers and my toes, but I'm told that I'd make more money off OnlyFans. So that's the third time. You guys are going to start thinking I'm real about it. So. Second channel where I'm rocking on guitar. I'm about ready to do a second channel, just straight live streams or straight finance content. Having said that, make sure you subscribe to me on Twitch, because I'm going to start doing like day in the life of, and I have got practically all the equipment to just run a GoPro all day long on Twitch. And I've been doing Wednesday and Friday. I did hour-long sessions with Eddie, my buddy. So, and I think we're going to live stream me and Eddie twice a week now. And people like it. So how much would it upkeep to group of 20 soda machines? I think it would maybe cut $200-300 a year in cash upkeep on maintenance and stuff like that. So how's the rioting? No rioting, thankfully, right now. It's actually the reason I'm staying in my office right now. there was major concerns in my area where I live and where the laundromat is, because I don't live in the same town as the laundromat, that we were going to have rioting because there were going to be protests. And the funny thing is, with the protests, I knew all the organizers. And the organizers for the protests in town were all these great, nice people that I really care about. They care about people. They're nice. They're just wanting to have a protest and talk about issues that they are concerned about. You know, Black Lives Matter, police brutality, stuff like that, which is an important topic. I don't know that I want to cover it on my channel because I've taken this stance where I try not to talk about politics, and I know it's a big topic right now, but I'm just trying to shy away from it, if we'd be honest about it, because I said it early in the live stream, I am so tired of what I call clip culture, in the sense that everybody wants you to make a statement, a hashtag. They want you to say, oh, this is how I feel about this topic. And to me, Hillbilly Laundromat Businessman, you can't solve life problems through hashtags, or you can't bring about real change through hashtags and 60-second clips or 10-minute YouTube videos. The only way you could do it would be just making people sit down and debate pros and cons and what is the true issue at heart, so that you can kind of go through the thought process of everybody involved in the situation. And I think that that's what I would like to do, but I'm not at a point that I can do that kind of content. Joe Rogan does the kind of content that I think is like the best ever, but I would love to see it on more weighty topics in society. So, any thoughts on the recent Navy UFO sightings? I am a big, I not so much now. I used to be a gigantic UFO nut. And the Tic Tac stuff with the Navy, it's interesting. I've talked to a couple guys because with this big social media appeal, I've talked to some people in the military, and they're saying they essentially had the state saying it's they're not UFOs at all, and they have really reliable data on that they are just crazy advanced military projects, and they're doing it to freak out people in general. So I have a moth in my studio. It's not a moth. It's a stink bug, and I have fogged the office twice. So staying neutral is the best thing right now. Yeah. So I like REITs. Sure. I'll post my Twitch link. I want to do some premium content on Twitch, and by that, they've got a really great way that if you have Amazon Prime, you can do a premium subscription for free. And it's like, if I could figure a way to get premium subscriptions on a monthly basis from people with Amazon Prime, it's like $30 a month I make. I could throw all that money in big projects that I have that don't make any sense. Like I've talked about on the YouTube channel, I would love to build like a spec house as a rental, which typically would, as an investor, that'd be a huge gamble. But it's like, I thought about it, man, if I could get YouTube money, I could throw it at a big project like that. And then in that situation, I would have no risk. And I would love to take on like really big risky projects with YouTube money or social media money. So, oh shoot, yeah, Twitch. If I can spell it right. So the thing is with Twitch, as time goes on, I'm going to be live streaming with these GoPros just straight to Twitch more often. YouTube kind of devalues live streams, or at least I have not figured out how to do live streams right with YouTube. This one's doing pretty good, but the last YouTube live stream, I had less than a third of the people on here. I appreciate if you like it, but it's just kind of weird. So Twitch is like YouTube, but it's almost exclusively for live streaming, and it's gaming content heavy. Twitch really likes 8-hour live streams. And it used to be YouTube liked 8-hour live streams, but they really don't anymore. YouTube anymore is good for like 10 to 15 minute videos. That's just what it is. TikTok's good for 60-second videos. So, yeah. About putting cards machines for laundromats. I have talked to a lot of my customers at the laundromat, and they just don't have much of an interest in doing card-based laundry because the apartment complex that's next door, they've got a card reader. I'm going to sit down here a second. They've got a card reader, and the people there just do not like it. And since a lot of my people are elderly at the laundromat, I really want to try and serve their needs, whatever they are. And if they prefer quarters and coins, that's kind of what I'm going to try to do. So, yes. Twitch streaming is totally different. You don't make money on Twitch ads, so it isn't a huge benefit to throw ads in there. And you can do sponsorships and make money, but it's just not. It isn't very positive to do ads on Twitch. So I want to move this camera over because I'm tired. I've stood for an hour. I think that works. So. Update on the kids that broke the coin pusher. I need to put that in the comment section or something and say there's no updates essentially. Will used cars prices from Hertz get lower? Absolutely, especially with the 0% loans that everybody's doing right now. I'm pretty sure all the big car places are getting money from the federal government, which is going to drop car prices. No Webull ads on Livestream. You missed the Webull ad where you can get 2 free stocks. I have not made hardly any money on Webull this month. It's crazy. They pay me a decent bit of money every time somebody signs up and puts $100 in. And like I explained earlier in this, like when I do the shout outs, I know that a lot of people hate shout outs when I say, hey, do talk about Shadow Legends, Raid Shadow Legends or Ridge Wallets or whatever. My goal is with all those shout outs to save the money back and put it in big projects that I couldn't normally do unless I was getting delicious social media money. So, yes. With Twitch, you can do a premium subscription, and you get that premium subscription ability with Amazon Prime. So essentially, if you have a Prime account, you could gift a Twitch creator your Prime credits, and it's realistically $30 a year. And it's like, man, if I had 10,000 people do that at $30 a year, I could put out some really weird content that I don't think anybody could cover. Like, I could build spec houses. I could do really in-depth renovation projects. I could do some like green energy efficiency projects. We could rip houses apart in ways that you shouldn't be doing, things like that. So that's just kind of what my thing is. Yeah, I keep hearing that we're going to do Cash for Clunkers again. So I've got 2 vehicles I've saved back for that. So yes, and we'll be streaming probably on Twitch and YouTube and I have a Facebook page at Investment Joy, and we'll be streaming on there because I've had really good luck with Facebook. It's just you cannot monetize money. You cannot make money on Facebook directly. They don't have premium. Their premium subscriptions are garbage. Everything's garbage on there except doing paid shout outs or sending people to courses. That's why I get scared reading any real estate content on Facebook unless it's a really small private group, because virtually everybody on there is trying to sell you a course or a plan or a program because they cannot make money in any other way. The fun thing is with YouTube, the ads on YouTube pay so freaking well that's like, oh, I can give out a lot of really high quality information for free because the ads are going to pay for it, as long as you're producing content that people want to watch, that they feel is popular. So the weird thing is with YouTube, you have to find content that people think's interesting. Because, in my preference, I would do videos on lease options or master lease options all the time because you can get free real estate that way. But YouTube, people don't know that people don't know that they should be looking for that topic or it's so good. Success with the late May Webull deposit day. Nah, we did okay with it. It wasn't that great. At least for us. I made a few $1,000s off it, which is good. So, ethics behind owning the newspaper. The newspaper industry is BS, and I will get political on this. All newspapers manipulate the news, except mine. All the newspaper industry is so dirty. We've got one newspaper, and it's a big one, and it is essentially entirely funded by some guy. And he's not some shadow guy that you hear in the news. He's some dirt bag from Pennsylvania. and he owns 16 newspapers so he can get his opinion out in the world. And it's just like, this is so screwed up. And all newspapers are sales heavy. For every reporter, one of the dirty things is, and it works for TV stations too, for every reporter that you have reporting news, you have 2 guys in the background selling ads. And essentially, you are doing everything you can at a newspaper or TV station to make money. And if your advertisers call you and say, hey, you know how you ran an expose on the local used car dealership that's a multi-millionaire? Hey, it's going to lose us business, so never do that again, or you're going to be bankrupt and all homeless. Okay, thank you, bye. That's exactly how media works nationally. And it's just like everybody has this agenda behind the scenes because everybody's in it to make money. We do a terrible job at our newspaper making money, so you know we have no agenda. But then on the other end, we can't get reporters to save our lives. We had one reporter that was at the protest/riots in Columbus. He got punched in the face because somebody was doing something they weren't supposed to and punched him in the head. And he has a concussion and a fractured eye. Hillbilly newspaper program. So would I ever, is there a big cockroach on the screen? It's probably one of these stink bugs. I can't see it. If I can't see it, it just doesn't exist. So paranormal activity in old houses, I don't want to do that content. I get people that tell me I have ghosts in my house and they get scared to death. So I don't want to do that. I thought about a second channel, but I'm not sure. You ditched Facebook. Facebook is so good at contacting people with. Oh, it's amazing. You feel bad for Hannah? I do too. She's so nice. Hannah is awesome. Yeah, Reddit's manipulated heavily because they've got financial interest in there, and it's a screwed up world. And the only way that in my opinion, without getting super politically biased, the only way you can win any of this stuff is just trying to have honest conversations with people, because that's what's lacking in society. Yeah, you made me look good for you. You know, I could ban you from these live streams. Everybody pulls that crap on me, and I always fall for it too. So whose fault is it? Is it your fault or my fault? Stores should defend their. I can't get into that. That is a complicated response. That is a 30 to 45 minute response minimum. So just talking about news and media and stuff like that. It's all dirty, and there's good reporters out there. But the thing is, they can't make money. It's so hard for them to make money because they can get censored, they can get demonetized, deplatformed, whatever it is. If you get enough, all these agencies, and I'm not saying that Facebook and YouTube or Twitch or any of those places are evil. I don't think that any of the platforms are evil, but they have to figure out some way with the amount of data that the big companies deal with. There has to be a procedural way for them to filter out what is perceived as bad content. Because of that, everything can be manipulated if you have enough people in cahoots or enough people to do it. I've talked about it on my YouTube channel, where if you would Google the phrase, who is the richest man in the world, back in 08 or 09, I was one of the top listings on Google. And I did it just to show people that I could manipulate search ranks or search results. And then I sold them search engine optimization services. So that's what it is. Make content on how to make content. The thing is, I don't know that I'm good at making content. Some of you guys like my content, but a lot of people don't, and they feel my titles are too clickbaity, so they don't click on my videos when they come on, and then it lowers the ability of my channel to trend, and it's complicated. So buying properties, rentals near college. I'm not a super huge fan of it, and it's just because I worry about colleges going bankrupt, and I know people that do super well with it. So don't rely on my advice for what you do with your money. So little houses with the trailer park, no, not this trailer park. I would love to buy another trailer park and just do a tiny house development. I want to do a tiny house development so bad, you guys don't understand. The problem is it's legally difficult to do it. I've called the Ohio State Mobile Home Commission, and they have a very difficult time trying to tell me how to classify it and how to do it right. So yeah, you guys like everyday life. The problem is, like, to a point, I've seen guys do everyday live streams, and they end up doing very poorly on YouTube after a while because people are like, oh, this is the same content day in and day out, which, you know, to a point, my laundromat content's starting to get boring for a lot of people. We've got this shining star coming up here soon. I'm going to do a video series on it. This one needs no introduction. Vlogs are where it's at. I don't know about that. So, how's the audio quality right now? Yeah, Jeff Bezos, he's complicated with what he does. I don't think he's inherently evil. Don't unsubscribe from me. I just can't wait to turn off the live stream and see how many people have unsubscribed because they've said something they don't like. So I'm glad the audio works. I have a fan on over here. Have I ever seen a celebrity naked in person? No. And here's the crazy thing. The only celebrity that I've ever met in person would probably be Meet Kevin. That's like the only person that anybody would know that I've met in real life. I am not around celebrities or famous people or anything like that. So I like hearing the change too. If we could do a meetup in Columbus, I would bring the coin machine so you guys could hear it in person because it sounds so much better in person. I had somebody tell me that they were going to get a hold of Destin from Smarter Every Day because he has like the nicest audio recording setup in the world. And they're like, I'm going to get a hold of him and I'm going to have him send you his equipment so we can record the laundromat. Because the sound that goes on the laundromat is just, it would put me to sleep. I'm sure that's why people sleep there. It's just a really neat sound place. And I wish everybody could hear it. But, you know. Cell phone towers on top of your buildings. I don't have a problem with it if they're paying rent. I have no problem with cell phones. I have no problem with 5G. And I am a licensed amateur radio operator, so I could do a video or a segment on the risks of 5G. And the hint, there's no risk. Or there's minimal risks, I should say that. EIRP is a real thing, and you need to be concerned about, you know, whatever your EIRP is coming out of a cell phone tower, and they need to be calibrated right. If I wasn't working a full-time job, I would make a 5G gun, a 5G electromagnetic cannon, and we would cook steaks with it for funsies. I can do that. It's not that hard, but once again, that's like a 20 hours effort on my part when I could go and try to fix a trailer park. So you got a coin pusher for $1,200. That's cool. Coin pushers say they do. The laws in Ohio are stupid with coin pushers, and essentially, Ohio Revised Code says one thing, the state attorney general says something else. The state attorney general says, "Hey, municipalities, you decide whether you want to do it or not." So, but adding Alexa to the laundromat, I don't know what I would do with it. Alexa, clean the floors. Alexa, kick the druggie out. Alexa, what's that guy doing? Why is he peeing in the trash can? Alexa, why is he doing that? That would be the kind of conversation that I would have with Alexa, and I'm pretty sure Alexa would turn herself or itself off very quickly after listening to my laundromat complaints. So, people put coin laundry videos to sleep. I've had people tell me they do, and the thing is, I tried doing a demonetized video of nothing but coin loops, and it did so terrible. I'm a huge fan of Starlink. I know it's going to cause problems with astrophotography. To me, I don't care. I want Starlink so bad because you know the bus for Starlink satellites is set in a way they could build 1,000 Hubbles with them, and they could map the universe and they could find extrasolar planets and stuff like that. It's amazing. So, Alexa, subscribe to Investment Joy on YouTube. Does that work? I don't have Alexa. Eddie, if you watch our Twitch stream, he has Alexa. I was really freaking impressed by it because when I okay Google, oh, it didn't even come on. Normally when I do there it is. Normally when I do Google Voice Assistant, it's really like laggy. Even though this is a $1,500 cell phone, Google Assistant's still very laggy for me. But his Alexa's like right like that. My nephew Alan locks it up. He peed in the trash can because the sink was too far and the trash can was probably too close. So go figure. Was that on me on Ben Mala today? Yes, it was. So installing charging stations for electric cars at your trailer park. I don't think I would. Wiring those up would be difficult. Having said that, I do believe our electrical co-op, because yeah, that location's an electrical co-op. I think they will install all the meter base and needed parts for free for a tenant if they so desired. So, am I scared of clowns? Nope. Hey, William Henry. So, so I'm trying to read about all the Alexa crap that I'm triggering. A yacht, a Y-O-T. Community, Southern Indiana Communications. Are you doing like a WISP type setup and doing wireless internet? We've got a couple guys on our channel that are on Discord that do that stuff. It's just so cool. You also just bought a radio station. That's cool. Radio stations are one of those things that if you so desire, you can buy one. I have met 2 or 3 individuals that own radio stations. A friend of a friend is the person that is essentially the owner of 88.7 in Columbus, Ohio, Radio U. A friend of mine is best friends with Michael Buckingham's wife. And Radio U, they've got probably a dozen different stations across the United States. They're all over Ohio. So I by proxy. But I also met a guy that owns his own radio tower. It's a low power 5,000 watt transmitter in Rushville, Ohio. He built his own radio station while being wheelchair bound. Really cool guy. 88 or 89.9 WBRO. Car manufacturing company makes crappy cars that sell for like $4,000 new. I would. We'll show Ryan. It auto muted Ryan because he cussed in his thing. I think that's a wonderful idea, Ryan Preston. I would love to see somebody that can make cheap cars. I think cheap transportation, to me, like quality access to cheap and reliable transportation is like one of the biggest problems in American society right now, because it also has been for probably 100 years, because the U.S. is so spread out. Most European people don't understand just how big the United States is. All of our houses are big, our cars are big, our country is big, and we have cities spread all over. So to get a job in the United States, realistically, you can't rely on public transportation if you want to make good money. So you have to have a car. And without getting too political, it is very expensive and disadvantageous to own a car if you are not making good money. So it ends up being a chicken in the egg thing, or is a cart before the horse thing. I don't know. But you need to get reliable transportation to make money. So cheap transportation is very near to my heart, because we went the entirety of the summer of 1997 with no car. When we lived in the middle of nowhere, my grandma had to come to our house so that we could go to town to go get groceries. This is while my dad was driving a truck on the road. So we were stuck on a farm in central Ohio for a whole summer because we had no car. And in that situation, it was like you feel trapped. But then you think about it, man, a lot of people deal with this and they can't go get decent employment. But I think Dave Chappelle, side note, Dave Chappelle lives probably an hour away from me. He lives in Yellow Springs, Ohio, which is in between Springfield and Dayton. Going back to the car thing, so I think cheap transportation is super important. But as time goes on with autonomous rideshare services like what Tesla says they're going to do, or I've actually got a friend that is the guy that's working at Uber, and he's like their chief autonomous transport guy. I think we're 10 to 15 years away from seeing driverless taxis, and then I think that's going to completely eliminate a lot of the vehicular problems that we have in society with getting reliable transportation to jobs. I think it's going to be solved in very soon in my lifetime. So there you go. Cheap small vehicles, a lot of times the small roads lack of space, and a lot of those vehicles are illegal to buy in the United States. One of those is is it a K truck? I don't know. Let's Google. Little Japanese truck. I don't know what they're called. Here we are. It's exactly what I was thinking about. Little Japanese truck. I think these are the coolest freaking things. Okay, the K truck. You see these? A Mazda Scrum. These are illegal in the United States. They cannot import these new. They have to be over 20 years old. And in a lot of states, they are illegal to drive on the road. And it's like, the state of Ohio did pass a law a while back that you can start driving these on the road. It's the stupidest thing ever because these trucks are awesome. You can put crap in them. You can get money hauling stuff for people. You can buy one in a state where they're legal for like $3,000 with 50,000 miles on them. It's amazing. And my dad always was like, the biggest scam in the United States is the fact that you can't buy this truck. He drove a Mitsubishi for years. And Mitsubishi makes a K truck, a truck like this. And he's like, I can buy a Mitsubishi that's bigger and it gets great gas mileage. I can't buy one of these to haul pallets. It's crap. Yeah, so. You're a mock jury where the insurance company paid for a crime claim of biomass in Florida, how much they charge. So anything dealing with cleanup or government permits, you can make good money on. What warehouse I work at? You work at U.S. Foods. You think will help you finance real estate dreams? I worked at Gap Inc. Direct on Roar Road in Groveport, Ohio. And it looks like every floor in a distribution facility. And the funny thing is, I've talked to so many people from YouTube videos that have worked here too. I guess this is what it looks like. This is back in the back of the factory, I want to say. If this is in Groveport, that's kind of what it looks like. There we go. This is much more familiar. This curly thing does not look familiar to me, but the rest of it does. So. Illegal if you register them as a motorcycle through real version. In the state of Ohio, it says, I think you have to sign a piece of paper that says you're not going to drive on the interstate. So, there you go. You're going to bed in your multi-million-dollar house. Cool. I'm going to go to bed tonight in my not multi-million-dollar house. But it's big, and I've got a lot of kids, and they tear everything up, so I can't have nice things. So, how much should you put towards a car? I own a 2012 Kia Forte. It's what I drove here in. I paid $4,300 for it. So that's how much I put. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I did. So, and I really did like working here. I enjoyed working at the Gap. I learned to drive a forklift here. This looks like not replen, but induction in the back. So, should you get a 401k or a Roth? They are very different things. You have to learn the difference and the benefits and features of a 401k and a Roth. Roth are taxed up front, but not in the end. 401ks are not taxed up front and taxed in the end. So, Dave Ramsey suggests $5 million each LLC. I don't know. Is that for real estate or what? So, you drive a 2003 Chevy Blazer. That's perfectly fine. I don't know if I'm going to sponsor. So, yes, I have Think and Grow Rich on my Audible account. So I've gone through it at one point in my life. Yeah, well, see, yeah, the couch is destroyed. It was a nice Lazy Boy couch, and then my kids tore the covers off. They then tore the zippers off. So it's just one of those things where I can't have nice stuff, so who cares? You're in bed now. Is that obscene? Who knows? Index Universal Life Insurance. If you are on our Discord, we talk about Index Universal Life Insurance all the time. We've got a guy on there, and he thinks it's the greatest thing under the face of the sun. He thinks it's the greatest thing on earth. Let's put it that way. I am still trying to understand it. You can use universal insurance to do something called infinite banking. I'm trying to understand everything about it. As of this point, I don't think it's that great. But yeah, Roth accounts tend to be more beneficial because, to me, this is kind of Brandon's hillbilly overlook for it. If you are not making a ton of money now, but you want to in the future, put money in a Roth. If you're making good money now and you don't think you think that you're going to be kind of stagnant your whole life, put it in a 401k. If you are working at an employer, a W-2 position where they contribute and they match funds for 401k, contribute as much money as you can that will be matched. Just do that, because you could always roll over your 401k to something else and then control it yourself. So do that. Update on the trailer park. I'll do some videos here soon. I did hand out eviction notices to a lot of people now that the courts are finally open in the state of Ohio. So you can lease the kids to a rich family, get them back when they're old enough to work. I love my kids. My kids are wonderful to have. I love every moment with them. They are crazy, and they do things that make me question their intelligence. But I love my kids to death. And maybe, hopefully, they'll take over some of my business someday. But, man, they do crazy stuff. And I don't think I did it when I was a kid. At least, but I can say that. Buying local stores and gas station near my trailer park, I think it's a cool thing. I would love to do it. I would go into convenience store businesses way before I would go into like a restaurant. The infinite banking thing, it's not a myth, but I've talked to people about it, and I'm still trying to understand how it's any better than a 401k that you take loans off of. And there is a way to do, if my understanding as of today is correct about infinite banking, you can do the same thing with a Roth IRA, but it's more beneficial. So, more kids or more rentals? You have to define that for me. How many units in the trailer park? 46. You do Robinhood and a Bitcoin Coinbase? Yeah, not too bad. Pay the rent with a $12 check and $500 for kids. I have several tenants at the park that have not paid me one dime since October. And I've been so busy with everything else and trying to get the trailer park working, I gave them slack, then coronavirus hit, and I'm an idiot. Cigarettes machines are legal in the United States. I have found them, and I could put a cigarette machine in the laundromat if I so chose. I will not, due to ethical reasons, but they're also very expensive. You can get one that will scan a driver's license and disperse cigarettes. So, you're 27, have a 16K Roth. Cool. Kids are only as expensive as you make them. My kids cost maybe $1,000 a year. I'm just throwing that number out. They're not that expensive. So, yeah. 401ks and IRAs are not insurance, but people treat universal life plans and whole life plans like retirement accounts, because there is a way to use life insurance like a Roth IRA, but it's really, really weird. My brother's sending me messages. Oh, he's bored. So. So a 401 can be touched. It can't be leaned against, from my understanding, but you can access it if you want to. You have to figure out and understand this. Kid put a Tupperware container in the dishwasher with the lid still on. So that happens. The mayor thing, that would be funny. Oh my gosh. I've dealt with local politics and it's crazy. I don't want a lot of people to hate me depending on whether I put an R or a D or an L next to my name on the ticket. So there's a way to get non-lienable, non-garnishable retirements as well. So 192 people. That's great. Yay. I would disagree with that on the 401k, but then I'm not an expert. So children are a tax burden to the state. I don't know. You invest in S&P instead of matching 401k. You can do rentals 1 year. It depends on your employer match. If your employer match is garbage, it might make sense, but you can use 401k funds to buy a rental. There is a process for that. Making a nonprofit 501c3, use it tax break for other businesses. Absolutely. It's hard to do it when you're self-dealing. There are ways to do it. It's just not easy. I've talked to a lot of people. I would love to start a 501c3 for like returning and retired veterans. And then go out, solicit donations for getting employment for veterans, and then use that for cheap labor for my rentals. I know that sounds underhanded, but I've had a couple people, I've had several people say, that's the greatest idea I've ever heard. And I'm like, really? Because I'm asking for donations so I can buy down the cost of labor. But I've had people like that. So a luxury car for myself someday. I would love to get, I'll show you. It's like one of my favorite cars other than a Tesla. Although I do have a Cybertruck on order. But I'd love to have a Cybertruck and one of these. I hear they're making a bunch of these. I would love a Lincoln Continental with suicide doors. The new ones have suicide doors. And they've got a twin turbo V6 on these. They can do 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. And they're just so cool. But the MSRP on them is $100,000 and they depreciate like crazy. So I would like to buy one a few years from now when I can get it for cheap. So vending machine route, I think it's a great idea. Vending machines to me are really, really easy to get into. I think we're going to do a video series here soon of just me getting into a vending machine route. So would I ever invest in a hotel or apartment complex down the road? Sure. I own multiple apartment complexes. They're just not big. Will I be a hard money lender in the future? Maybe. So I want to pause my recording because some of this is going to go on Teachable in HD. So I like Lincolns and I like Cadillacs. Usually they're just old people cars, but I like them. So yeah, I really like the interior. I want to say the new ones have airbag suspension. The only thing that I hate about the Lincoln Continentals is they have garbage transmissions in them. They've got great engines in them. They've essentially got a EcoBoost 3-liter V6 twin turbo in them. And then you can retune them and put a bigger turbo in them, and you can get 600 horsepower out of that car without even trying. Still getting the Cybertruck. It's a depreciating asset, but there are ways to make somebody else eat the depreciation. Let's look at this Lincoln depreciation. Lincolns and Cadillacs depreciate like mad. It is insane how bad they depreciate. And you can make somebody else eat that. Best value is buying a 2017 Lincoln where it is only depreciated. Can you see it on my magic chart here? They depreciate 44.43% after 3 years. Isn't that crazy? So your $100,000 car is depreciated 45%. So I can get that car for $55K in a few years. Chance to meet up. If you're in Columbus and you want to meet with me, sure, come down to Circleville or Chillicothe and you can meet me. Yeah, I've talked to several people that are going broke in New York due to vandalism and then coronavirus. It's crazy. Someone has made a Tesla van and a Tesla bus, but they're all aftermarket stuff. Estimating repair renovation costs, it's just experience. Find a mentor. Go do it. If you want to do it the underhanded way, just go call a bunch of contractors and have them give you bids. Give them a line item list of what you think's done, and then put on everything else. Or pay for an inspector a few times. Starting with $5 and flipping to $1,000 in 7 days. I thought about doing that. Eddie has actually said, "Hey, you want to go yard selling this summer and flip stuff?" So, but I'm doing a full-time job, so I owe it to myself to spend a little bit of my money. Hey, I am living in the lap of luxury right now. I just got one of these bad boys. I did invest in a pool. Not this one, a different one. But we did get a pool for my kids this summer, so I am living in the lap of luxury right now. So the laundromat was $85,000. I went with an investor. He put $15,000 down, and we put $35,000 in rehabbing it. I don't have any money out of my pocket, so we have a squad here. That'd be awesome. 188 people. Is that a squad? So I don't know. Get $800 in unemployment. Hopefully you are saving and investing that money. Do I invest in REIT index funds? I think I've got 10% right now in index funds. How old are my kids? 10, 8, 5, and 19 months, or 20 months. So Your plan is to save 40K cash, buy a 48K wedge deal on rent. Good plan. Sure, why not? It just depends on your local market situation, whether or not your local market will support what's going on. So it's hard for me as Hillbilly Laundromat man in Central Ohio to tell you what to do. Do I need the fire department to fill the pool or garden hose? We've done the garden hose for 2 days straight and it's still not full. We're going to get a water company to come out and fill it. The fire department does not do it anymore, oddly enough. Pay tax. What business can you do not pay taxes on? I can't give you a suggestion there. You should be paying taxes. So got to maintain your privacy with the exact pool model. I get that, but no, I'm not saying that I'm privacy reasons. It's just not that specific one. I'll show you the exact pool that we got. Like I said, I live in the lap of luxury. There we go. That's the exact pool I got. You know why I got it? Because it was free. I was going to buy a pool this year with some of my YouTube money, like an above ground, not an in-ground pool. But I couldn't find one because they are all... If you ever find a pool, you can flip it right now for a lot of money. Someone called me and said, hey, you want one of these, Brandon? I will give it to you. So I got one now. Real estate can be expensive depending on where you are. You might have to figure it out. Who would win in a cage match between Meet Kevin and Clear Value Tax? I think Kevin would win. But I don't know that I would... I would not want to be the guy that I have to put money on that cage match. Although it would be fun to watch. There's a lot of people that don't pay taxes. I'm saying you should pay taxes. I pay taxes to the laundromat, so. Businesses enjoy working on the most. I really enjoy the laundromat. I don't have enough time to invest in it that I would like to. Tax exempt businesses, I mean, you can do a 501c3, but you're going to have to pay payroll taxes. The big thing is learning how the U.S. tax code works. There are a lot of businesses that you can do and pay minimal taxes. You can't. I don't know of any really like surefire way to absolve yourself of all tax liability, but the government has a lot of tax incentives. Laundromats are one of them. You can bonus depreciate your equipment right now like 120%. So you love Hex Crypto. I don't know anything about Hex Crypto. Yeah. Depreciation can cover a rental in some cases, but not all cases. I have this odd situation where I live that local municipalities, they will ignore the depreciation. So I still think that Kevin would win against Clear Value Tax. So Airbnbs can be fine. So yeah, I would totally watch it on Hillbilly Jumbotron here. Yeah, I enjoy collecting the money. I promise you guys, collecting money at the laundromat is as fun as it looks. So, and it's exactly what Sean said, Andrew. I love collecting money. Have you guys seen my briefcase? I know that I've got a TikTok or something here. I'll put it on the screen. Please don't make fun of me because I do TikToks. But I did a TikTok video here recently. I'll show you the part of it. Yep. Okay, here we go. See this? Ooh. Let me see. This sucks. You see this briefcase here, guys? That's all real money. But it's mostly ones. And the fact that I have a briefcase full of $1 bills makes me feel great. It probably weighs 15 pounds now with all that money in it. I use it for props. So it looks like I have, and there, on the top bands, there's a $20, $50, $100 bills every so often. So it looks like it's a briefcase with millions of dollars in it. It's actually about $2,500 in there. But the fact that I'm able to collect that money from the laundromat, it's great. So I really enjoy it. Yeah. The fact that it's my money and it's not me collecting money for some business. I talked to a lot of people and they fantasize about working at a bank because it's the idea of handling money on a daily basis. It just makes them giddy. And to me, it's like, you could start a business where you handle cash, But unlike it being somebody else's money, it could be your money. Now, of course, I have to pay bills and I have to do stuff with it. But, I've saved some money back from the laundromat and I got a briefcase full. So it's kind of cool. So, yeah. I'm going to get off here at 11:30. So I want to go home. I want to sit in front of a fan. I'm quite warm right now. I do the quan. I don't know what that means. Better margins than a rental. What's the risk of a laundromat? From my big thing is it is possible to build a new laundromat relatively straightforward in a storefront property. It's not cheap, but it can be done. And if someone starts another laundromat, they can really hurt your business, in my opinion. I could talk endlessly about crypto conspiracies and dirtbags in crypto. It'd be very difficult. What do I use to track up business income, expenses, tax? I use something called Appfolio. It's specific for rentals, but I also use it for the laundromat. So I'm trying to read your comments. Lots of good comments here. So, what percentage of the U.S. population is unbanked? Oh my gosh, probably I would say 30% at least, which is about as many people as out there that live in rental properties. So. Some people look at 30% of the U.S. population and think, oh, that's not a lot of people. It's 100 million people. So, you're in a vending machine route with 20 machines for 40 years. You service them all about once a month. Sorry, all high school. That's cool. Yeah, I love my my change machine. I have my bill counter here. I love the sound of it. My gosh. I have so much fun. Yeah. I love having a big stack of ones. I think we're going to do a Mr. Beast video at some point, and I'm going to drive around and hand people stacks of ones and see what their reactions are. That would be expensive, but it could be fun. How does owning an ATM work? So you get a ATM and you set it up in a location, you fill it full of money, and you connect it to the internet. So when people come in and they use their ATM card, you charge them $1, $2, $3 to get money out of the machine, and you take a fee each time. Most ATMs I run into, they split the profit, the $1, $2, $3 charge, they split it 50-50 with the person that owns the location. So, I mean, if I have $1 billion mine, I'm sure not there yet. So, I mean, that's maybe $1 million mine, maybe a $10 million mine, but I've got all these great ideas and things that I would love to do, and it's just like I'm so time constrained because I have to manage rentals. I have angry calls from tenants. I had several of them today, and today's Saturday. I had somebody that's going to report me to the news for the... I don't even want to say why she was going to report me to the news, but it's the dumbest thing ever. I mean, to me, it's the dumbest thing ever. I'm sure to this person it feels like a life-threatening issue. I've explained to them, this is not something that I can do. You need to handle it yourself. Call this company, and this company. If you need me to write you a permission slip, you can go do it. Call it a day. So, what's my life goal? Someone mentioned it earlier. I would love to start, like, it wouldn't be a business. It would just be like a non-profit organization or whatever. I would love to just get groups of kids and drive them around town, whichever town it is. Impressionable kids, young, poor, wealthy, middle class, or whatever. Put them all in a car, pick them randomly, drive them around and show them how to invest in business and real estate and show them how it all works. And like take them around in a freaking Lincoln Continental with suicide doors. So, make it an experience where they get to spend a day a week with a rich laundry hillbilly man. Did we? So, go pick up kids from the inner city or whatever in one of these bad boys and just say, hey, let's go make some money today. And not give people money. I hate giving people money. I've given people money. I've given people cars. I've given people houses. And it doesn't help anybody out. You know what the worst feeling in the world is? Is giving somebody a car and then they tell you how terrible you are because you gave them a car. You know how many times that's happened to me? Twice. It felt worse the second time when I did it. I figured I was going to be different. So I would like to do this. Give people an experience and knowledge, not stuff. That isn't to say I ain't going to do the clickbaity Mr. Beast videos and hand out people gigantic stacks of ones. But then again, I'm trying to do the teaching thing through YouTube. And so your support when you watch my videos, you click on the like button, all that stuff helps boost my channel and hopefully gets me to the point that I can make enough money off this YouTube stuff so I'm able to buy better management for my rentals so I can do more of the educational content, because that's where my hope is. Comments on Haggard Garage back in the day. I'd have to see which ones that is. So, Jared Kushner, landlord strategy, thinks terrorist tenants to get them to voluntarily leave. I don't need to do that. To me, the worst terror that I can give somebody, and I wish I could get them to connect with it, is I've told people this, and some of them get it, a lot of them don't. I say, hey, look, if anybody in my community knows me, Hillbilly Brandon Laundromat Man, for one thing, I'm honest with people and I'm truthful with people. Whether it's a spoonie stealing money from me or it's one of my friends that's one of the richest people in the county, I would like to think that I have a history of being honest and truthful with people. So I said, here's the deal. I need you out of this rental. And when people call in to me in the future, a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, about what kind of tenant you were going to be, I'm going to be honest with them. I'm not going to tell them, I'm not going to lie to them. I'm not going to do anything other than tell them the truth. So it's going to come down, what's the truth going to be? That you stiffed me on X amount of rent, and then when I asked you to leave, you said no. I took you to court. You threw a sob story at court, which was a lie. I can prove here through texts, emails, conversations, paperwork, that you lied in court to a magistrate, and you lied to me again about the situation that you're dealing with. So then, in the future, when somebody asks me about what's my experience, I'm going to say, hey, I got a great deal for you. I'm going to hand you all the information I have about this tenant on file, and you can make the decision whether this person is a good person, someone that I would rent to, or not. Or there's an alternative. I could have that conversation 5 years from now, and I could say, hey, look, this tenant went through some hard times. Here's their file. They tried to make it right. I asked them to leave. They asked for a week. I got the place back in a week. They cleaned it up. I took their deposit to pay for some of the back rent. It didn't take care of it, but at least they went through the hassle of trying to clean the property out for me. Now, if I explain that story to a future landlord, which one of those two do you want to be? And I have that conversation with tenants once in a while, and some people get it. Sometimes they realize, man, I should be doing it to this guy. I'm going to leave. Then you've got other people who make a big deal about it and say, oh, Brandon's a slumlord and he did this, this, and this to me. Most of the time, I have documentation to prove it's wrong. I had this one guy go on and on and on in court. And, I'm here at court sitting there on the witness stand or whatever with a phone in my pocket. And I think I have a recording of this guy saying the exact opposite of what he is on court right now. And I can prove that he provided housing to a child with no utilities in it for a year. I have documentation in my pocket. And this guy's going on and on about how I'm a terrible human being. So, 2 acres for $16K, can you put a trailer park on it? It depends on your local municipality. So, a lot of people feel I'm a kingpin. They feel that I have been accused of being the head of the Illuminati in Southern Ohio. I didn't think that Southern Ohio was big enough to have a wide-ranging conspiracy that controls the destiny of people in our region of the state. But evidently we do, and I am the president of it. So in a lot of people's stories about their lives, I am the villain. So, it's kind of weird. $20 acres for $10K. I mean, I was offered 80 acres for $60,000 years ago. And I do, for the most part, regret not getting it. We actually walked by it the other day, and my kids said, oh, this field's so cool, Dad. Why didn't, this is awesome. We like this field. We like this place, Dad. This is a neat thing, neat place. And I said, yeah, I could have bought it a long time ago for $60,000. My daughter's like, you have $60,000. Why didn't you buy it? And I'm like, I don't want to explain this to my 10-year-old daughter. It's just one of those things. Hopefully you learn from it, and then you can go on. Who knows? Yeah. Assets generate money. Liabilities cost money. Liabilities are usually fun, though, but you have to balance everything. People on Reddit said investing in ATMs are a bad idea. People on Reddit say I'm stupid and I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't hate Reddit, but man, it's kind of weird anymore. So, who would I, if, how do I generate leads with Facebook? Get on Teachable or go to investmentjoy.com/teach. I'll do the link here. I have this Teachable deal on investmentjoy.com/teach. It's free as it stands right now, and I do a 30 or 40 minute session on how you can do Facebook pages, how I do Facebook pages. Yeah, I really like Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, how to win friends and influence people, and that's pretty much it. Good idea to buy some snack machines? Sure, why not? I think it'd be good. Yeah, just make sure you learn from your mistakes. A lot of people make mistakes and they just never learn. They keep making excuses for themselves and they say, it wasn't my fault, and they just never learn. It's important to get around good people that will help you think through your bad decisions and say, yeah, you're really dumb there. And then you can go on and ask them and say, hey, make me more accountable. And justwhenjoy.com, let me see. It should be working. That's another link. Yeah, it should be. It should go here to the Investment Joy live streams. So. It should not be lagging on my end. I'm on really good internet here. Arcade or vending machine business. I think a vending machine business is way more profitable. Your family just bought 100 acres for $95K. You have 400 acres. You can land pay for itself by logging it. Yeah. Logging is a wonderful thing. A lot of people do not deal with or talk about logging and timber rights. You can do very well with it, but it is one of those things you have to do it smartly. I'm not a big fan of clear cutting land, but there's really great ways to harvest timber and keep the land very valuable. So, why are you doing mentorship? Page is hard to read. So, I'm not going to talk you into anything. I've got mentorship deal where we do over there, where we do some like live private streams and stuff. You get like a 10-minute phone consultation with me, and I'll review your deals and stuff like that. The timestamp's 22 minutes for Ben Mala. So you pay $49.95. You get to talk to me for like 10 minutes, and we talk about all your problems in life, and I give you hillbilly laundromat man advice. It's $49.95 a month, and you get to do some stuff like that. It's the only premium thing that I have at this point. I was going to release this huge long deal with free courses, but with the live stream deal, what I ended up doing was just throwing all this content on there for free. You just have to sign up. So, yeah, shoot, you reminded me. It's after, it'll be 11:45 now. So, I don't know how to pronounce your name properly. Hussein Karashi. I am from Southern Ohio, fine sir. I can't pronounce that name. So, 48 Laws of Power. When I read that, you're getting a connection refused error. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Am I still in quarantine? No, not really. So, Ohio has pretty much. We're still supposed to socially distance, but man, they want you to wear masks whenever possible. So. Will I do a video of you tracing your comments as a future content? I don't know if I'll do that. Yeah. The fans only thing's a joke. I promise you. Half of a town in Nova Scotia, that's cool. He logs every day. His head and now his son does it. That sucks. I want to do timber content. I've got a guy that wants to start a sawmill. He's one of my neighbors. I think it'd be the coolest thing ever. El Salvador, cool. I'm trying to think of how many people I know from El Salvador. So, yeah, it'll probably be 1 a.m. I hope not. Kureishi. So, you got no money. How do you get some money? Get a job, work a business, mow lawns, haul trash for people, power wash houses, clean out houses, organize houses, ask to borrow somebody's truck to haul crap for them, set up social media pages. I've got like 3 or 4 videos on it that nobody watches. So, Just, explaining proprietary solution. Okay. So. You started a lawn care business. Just advertise, show up on time, have good customer service. You'll do fine. You drove to town yesterday. You wouldn't think anything was going on. 10 masks per 500 people. It varies very heavily on who has masks around here and who doesn't. Yeah, you've got to be so careful with logging. Some companies just destroy your land. Other companies do a good job. I am personally a fan of doing Amish and Mennonite logging. They seem to me to care way more about your land than anybody else does. Yeah, there's a bunch of buzzards that fly around your land at sundown. That means there is a thermal and they can fly for free in your area. That's why that happens. So I would love to do timber content, but that's on the long list of things I'd love to do, guys. I don't know that I have time to watch you being tear gassed by police. I've watched so many tear gas. Columbus, the riots in Columbus were awful. One of our news camera crews was assaulted. He has a concussion and a fractured eye socket. How do I get money in quarantine? Find a job or a business that is profitable right now, like plexiglass installation, pool setup. Those two businesses right now are freaking killing it. All my neighbors mow the lawn with a mask on right now. We live in the country. No one's around. Why am I bald? I cut it off due to coronavirus. I didn't want to pay $100 for a black market barber, which they do exist. I didn't want to do it. So, I did get off at 11:30. You have fallen asleep, Bones, along with everybody else on this live stream, and you have fallen asleep, guys. I hate to tell you. So, but yeah, I tried cutting my hair with a hair trimmer thingamajig. I failed miserably. So I just shaved it all off. So there you go. What's a good candy that would sell? It's hard for me to tell you because there are a lot of candies that are regional and you just have to figure it out. I have several videos on how to make money online. They're on my YouTube channel somewhere. Nothing. Police are working real slow right now. We did have several protests in the town where the laundromat is. They were kind of uneventful, but it's a situation where they're just tied up with they're just really tied up right now with investigating stuff and trying to make sure everything's fine, everybody's happy. So I'm checking my Facebook right now, making sure that there are no rioting and everybody's still alive. Because I was going to go to the laundromat and make sure that it didn't get broken into tonight, but I think we're okay. And if you were on our Discord at spoonies.club, you could see if anybody was breaking into the laundromat live. Sometimes I stream the trailer park live, which is a thing that you can do. There's no big trees. Oh my gosh, look at all those bugs. There's no big trees on the 23-acre spread, or worse. So how bad? FFL transfers can do pretty good. You just have to be careful on them. I know people that do it. Man, look at all those bugs at the trailer park. That's crazy. Crazy. Fireworks all over town. I would love to do a video series on selling fireworks. Oh my gosh. The margin for fireworks is insane. I had a fan that likes my content. He told me about the fireworks business. It's amazing. So I'll do the link is real easy to remember. The link to join our Discord is spoonies.club. You can get on spoonies.club and you can watch the trailer park or whatever. So, should you so desire. Look at all those bugs. Or you can go back and watch an empty, hopefully, friendly laundromat. Although that camera's going to be kind of boring. We should switch to the... we do have the roach cam. Here's the roach cam, guys. Here is the sticky trap. Look, those are all dead roaches on the sticky trap. Exactly the kind of content that you guys expect from me at midnight on Saturdays. But here is the front of the laundromat right now. Do we have any people breaking glass? No, we don't. We have a flashing ATM, so that's cool. We'll have new machines in the laundromat any day now, I hope. So, I am using Open Broadcaster right now to pull from my Sony camera that's right in front of me to display on the screen behind. I've got something called a 2x2 split behind me. So OBS is the big software. The rest of it's hardware. So do I think $15 an hour is good? Sure, why not? Add value to the mobile home park. We're going to put a laundromat in there. I'm going to put vending machines in there. I think I'm going to do community Wi-Fi, but I need to make sure about legalities. And I would love to add value to my trailer park by adding a Mr. Leahy and a Randy Bobandy. Do I got fiber? Yes. I essentially got fiber at the trailer park. I can get like 2 gigabit service there. So yeah, the roach cam's still up and running because I want to see about how good of a quality I can get on it. So, they, I think, are going to legalize fireworks in the state of Iowa, which is kind of awesome. So, I don't want a Corey and a Trevor. My tenants love, there are some, not all, some tenants at my trailer park love my YouTube channel. And they asked if they could have a rap battle at the trailer park. And I said, this is way too close to Trailer Park Boys. And they said, what's the Trailer Park Boys, Brandon? I thought, oh crap, I am living in a nonstop episode of Trailer Park Boys. So the roads are on the list with our landscaping money. So you don't see the live stream on the Discord. It's going to be on voice chat. Let me make sure. There could be a conflict because I am streaming right now. Oh, here, let me fix this. You have to accept the terms of service. There we go. You have to click the thumbs up button. I'll show you guys because everybody screws up on this. You get the welcome chat. And see, I have no interesting Discords over here. I am not on any weird ones. But you have to click on the thumbs up button. A lot of people screw up and they don't click the thumbs up button. You have to do that to accept the toss, because then we will ban you if you do not follow the rules. So we're off here in a couple minutes. Chilean here, cool. Fires from your job because of the pandemic. Tried to switch around, became middleman, farm products, now making big bucks selling cheese, butter, honey, and other farm products. I would love to know if Chile has the same problem that we have in the United States, where a lot of meat and food places have closed down that are manufacturing. So that's kind of that's interesting. I don't got any hash. I do have chips in the laundromat. What do I think of coffee? I am not a big coffee drinker, but it's like I am. I like the really light coffee drinks, like frappes, or I went to a church conference years ago, and they said this is the best coffee product that you will ever drink, you will ever consume in your life. And I'll show you the company. And he supposedly holds yes. So he supposedly has the patent on several nitro processes. And I went to this church conference because they run Phoenix Roasters runs a nonprofit organization where they have they own the farms down in Central America, and everybody gets a really high living wage from the top to the bottom with coffee beans, because they feel that there are a lot of big giant coffee companies. And I've met this guy, Brian Holland. I've met him before. They tried to bring value to the people that produce coffee. So he has these nitro craft beverages. But I don't think I'd ever drank a single cup of coffee in my life that I liked. And then I met this bad boy right here. This is blueberry basil coffee. And he said, this will be the best coffee you've ever had in your life, bar none. And you'll want to buy it off of us. And I said, you're a liar. I'm at a church conference. Gosh darn it, I kid you not. This is the best, well, not just the best coffee I've ever had in my life. It was by far the best coffee I've ever had in my life. It was one of the best drinks I've ever had in my life. It was amazing. And I was like, how can I get this? And he's like, she rattles off all these terms, and I'm like, I don't think that I can get this. And he said, yeah, you can. Then the guy behind me was like, I want this nitro coffee, the basil blah 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 blah, the nitro basil blueberry coffee. And he's like, I will take however much you need. And he's like, we only sell it in kegs, and we only sell it by the palletful. And the guy said, give me 4, put it on my credit card. So he bought 4 palletfuls of kegs of this stuff at a conference. It was amazing. I don't know if this is white coffee or not. So I don't drink beer or much alcohol at all. My kids understand I'm a millionaire, but they also ask me why I won't buy them a 6-piece chicken nugget Happy Meal, and I only get the 4-piece. So unless they see they see the product of it. So cost of living where would I live? I would probably like to live in Florida, I guess. I do enjoy Florida. I like Georgia too. I would not live on the West Coast at all. I would love to fly to Seattle a couple times a year. I enjoyed it over there, but I would never want to live there. What situation was questionable you've encountered? I mean, I've run into thousands of questionable situations. So I have to buy nitro for my shop or my business. That sucks. So with vending machines in the winter, cans freezing, I have not at all. You can get heaters for your drink machines, so it helps. So see, I could live in Atlanta just for these guys. Atlanta has a lot of cool stuff going on. Texas is a really cool state. I have mentioned I would love to start. I've talked about this a lot. I would love to start a public company and do really crazy real estate investments. And one of the things I would love to not move permanently, but I would love to go to Brownsville, Texas, where SpaceX has their big giant launch pad, and I would love to start buying rentals there. And I would love to start trying to corner the real estate market in Brownsville, Texas, because I think SpaceX is going to be one of them big. I think SpaceX is going to be to the 21st century what Standard Oil was to the 20th century. So I would love to do that, and I would love to do it all for delicious YouTube content. So I don't want to live in Seattle because of the taxes, and I have never encountered that level of homelessness before. I've never seen multiple times in a one-day period people eating out of garbage cans. That was weird. I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, I deal with the spoony stuff and people with rock stuff at the laundromat all the time. What I was seeing back in 2008 and 2009 just blew my mind how poor people were. So it was weird. But man, the food was good in Seattle. Oh my gosh. It was what I liked from Phoenix Roasters was the blueberry basil. So how was the call with one and the King of Cash Flow? It was good. I felt that the conversation was rushed. I've called and talked to Ben twice now. The first one was a leisurely conversation. It was fun. It really felt like this time he was really in a rush. I don't know if that was his son or what did it what. But, I mean, Seattle's very different than Ohio is. It feels so much more fast-paced than it is here in Ohio. I love my town. Where I live, I can just go out and walk. I've walked all the streets of my one town at nighttime, no problems whatsoever. Indiana, I've been to Indiana many, many times. I love Indiana. I would not ever have an issue living there. But it's like, if the question was if I could live in any state that I want to, no strings attached, I don't know that I would want to live in Indiana. I also like West Virginia. Don't tell them I said that. I don't want to hate Michigan. The UP in Michigan's really cool. I wouldn't have a problem living in Kentucky or Tennessee. I really like Georgia, but you know, it is what it is. So I am not Billy Corgan at all. So I don't like Smashing Pumpkins either. Lee Painier for pastries in Seattle. There was one pastry place. I'm trying to think of their name. It was right at. It was a Russian pastry place. I'm trying to remember the name. It was really neat. Porshki. There we go. My wife and I went to this place in Seattle, and their story was really cool. But man, the pastries there were insane. Oh my gosh, they were awesome. I do not think that Elon Musk is a fraud. I think he is very verbose and has sky-high dreams. And I think that his dreams are so out of touch with reality for a lot of people that it makes it difficult for people to understand. Hey, I'm going to click a button right now that says that I can insert an ad in the video. I'm going to see what happens. If you got an ad, let me know. It says I inserted an ad. I think it's only going to do it on restreams, but I'm curious. Pike Place. There you go. Pike Place marketing again. Am I realist? Are you asking if I'm a Ragelian, if I am an alien? Because the Ragelians are against the Greys and the Insectoids. Musk is South African. Many tech CEOs are frauds. They try to sell products that don't exist. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think that Elon is one of them. I think Elon just has sky-high thinking. I think he can back it up with a lot of stuff, what he says. But his stuff is so far out there for most people, it's very difficult. Le Panier is way better. There's a French pastry. There's a French place. I think this was the one that we went to in Seattle. Crêpe de France. This really looks like it. So, you mean, am I religious? If that's your question, then yes. Seattle in '93 was awesome. Is that because of grunge? So, we went to Bellevue. We went to what's his name with Microsoft's Air Museum, and that was super cool. Do you think Tesla will build their new factory in Austin? It's Austin. I've heard that they already have a company that's locked up land, but it's like really far out of Austin. I talked to a guy that said he's in Austin, and he said it's not in Austin, and he was like really specific on it's not Austin, it's someplace. And he's like, they think that Elon Musk is going to buy a county out there. Oh shoot, I shouldn't do that. Le Panier is French, bro. Okay. I'm Googling the person that has a check mark because it means he's famous. And we have a famous, The Professional has asked me a question. Since you're famous, I will answer it. Was wondering, how do I find the laundromat you purchased? Do you find it online, local ad? I just knew it was there because I kind of knew the owner and I drove by it all the time. I am so big on personal networking and just showing up to places and asking people. My buddy is in the process of trying to buy a factory, and he's really close to coming with terms on buying a factory. He just showed up one day and said, "Hey, would you want to sell the factory?" And the guy said, "Yeah, I've been thinking about selling the factory. You interested?" It's crazy. Elon is a fraud. He is not the founder of Tesla or PayPal. He's only an investor, and everyone thinks he's the founder. He wasn't the founder of every company. He was the founder of X.com, which was purchased by PayPal or merged in PayPal, and he did a stock option swap, and he got a lot of money. He did not fund Tesla, but he purchased it when they were in dire straits for pennies on the dollar, and they had some good patents he wanted. He is the founder of SpaceX because the Russian government would not sell him RD-180 engines. So, if you have any questions, The Professional, about real estate or laundromats, feel free to hit me up on Instagram at InvestmentJoy, and I will answer all your real estate questions to your heart's desire because you've earned it. And I might want to do a collab with you someday and try and get some of your life force off because my YouTube channel is doing terrible. Wow, the professional has 782,000 subscribers. Wow, and a whole lot more views than I do. Holy crap. I wish I was that professional. Oh, you did a video on Jake Paul. I did a post on Jake Paul on Instagram and I got destroyed over it. I had people for the first time unfollow me on Instagram because I said that I don't like him. Oh, you do GTA streaming. Cool. I can make this video about you if you want. So. Yeah. Take a look at Altus Motors, invest some money in this company. Do you think about the company? I think that they're going to go belly up at this point. Ford had a bunch of money in them. I don't think the technology is going to prove itself out. I could do a long 30-minute rant on battery technology, and in my opinion and from my research, Tesla is so far beyond the abilities of everybody else. So many companies have invested in pouch cell technology, which to me is a technological dead end as compared to cell battery systems as opposed to pouch cells. And most of the places use pouch cells, which need to be hand wired. Tesla has a fully automatic system for assembling battery cell systems. So you have to scale. If you want to scale and make a bunch of batteries, you have to use cell batteries. And no one else has that process like Tesla does. So I will go on rants. Yeah, solid state's not one of those things that I think is fraudulent. It needs a lot of development before it's fleshed out. And Tesla might be on to ultra capacitor levels. Who is it? The battery company that they bought recently. The thing is with them, they've got an ultra capacitor set up that's just really, really good. And I'm hearing that Tesla could potentially make an ultra short, quick charge battery that gets you like 50 miles and it'll charge in 3 minutes or so. And I hear that Tesla might go to those kinds of batteries plus their standard lithium-ion batteries to get a little bit extra range. So, the hydrogen truck by Nicola. I'm also of the opinion that hydrogen technology is dead in the water too. The idea was that you could use the electrical system to hydrolyze water at the end point and turn it into hydrogen gas. The problem is, in order to do that, you've got to find a catalyst that's better than either palladium or platinum, because palladium and platinum both degrade as they hydrolyze water and they or electrolyze water and they turn it into hydrogen gas. And they have not found that yet, so hydrogen gas production at end use is kind of expensive, and it makes it not cost competitive. So hydrogen systems just aren't near as nice as they thought they would be. What's your opinion on self-service car washers? No passing. Do you think they're worth it? They can be. You have to look at the books. The problem is a lot of self-serve car washes have the same kind of problem that laundromats do, in the sense that they lie about the income so often. It's amazing to a huge point that so many car washes, they lie about their income. Before Corona, I was pretty dang close to buying a car wash, but after it hit, I couldn't get the funding for it, so it kind of just disappeared. So I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. Hydrogen costs a lot of money to produce, not because it's inefficient with electric. It's because palladium and platinum degrade when they try and electrolyze water. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you about Battery Day in Mesa. So, Everybody is not making cheaper EV cars with range, and if you would dig into the numbers, all of the companies that are producing electric cars, they are subsidizing and they are playing with their books. I know Tesla plays with their books all the time, but these other car companies, guys, I promise you, they're playing with their books worse than Tesla is on EV production. So GM, in all their infinite wisdom, they were losing 10 to 15,000 per produced car when they were making the Bolt. So yeah, it's not to the energy usage isn't the significant thing. It's the fact it degrades metals, expensive metals at that. They keep saying that they're going to come up with another technology to make it cheaper. One of the ideas was to use hydrogen fuel cells, and that hasn't worked out too well. So now I have to get off here. It's almost midnight. Oh, it's past midnight. Gosh darn it. You kids. I have no clue how many people have watched us tonight. I'm sure it's a wonderful number. Oh, I am limited. I have limited monetization on my stream. I have said a dirty word that YouTube has not liked, guys. See? Can you see that right there? Limited monetization. I've done something or said something offensive. So I apologize to YouTube right now. I've done something the great YouTube did not like. And therefore I have been removed from their wonderful graces. But we've had a lot of people look at it, so that's cool. So I'm going to get off of here. I appreciate everybody that signed on. Had a crap load of people come in and watch, so that's kind of cool. Probably 3,000 unique people watched. I mean, you are all unique in your own special way. I have not gained a single subscriber, which I guess is okay. I'm not going to cry about it anymore. So, let me see if I can answer any questions real quick before I head out of here. Cummins motor that automatically generates power as you drive. That's complicated. Faraday future might not be truthful. Yes. Internship, love to sit down. I talked about the internship 2 or 3 times earlier in the stream. It's a complicated answer. Would I like to do it? Yes, but I have to have more time. I have to have a lot. One of those bugs that you guys said, oh, you know, someone said a cockroach is crawling on the screen. It was one of the actual bugs. Make EVs hard to meet CAF standards. Give you props for long live stream Saturday night. I'm a beast. I'm not sure that I'm a beast. Chinese company that has perfected battery swaps. I can't remember the name of that company, but there is supposedly a company that has. A Tesla battery costs $20,000. That's only partially true. It depends on the battery. I want to say the 80 kilowatt cell for the Model 3 is now down to $10,000. It keeps getting lower and lower and lower. Yeah, smash the like button, guys. Please do that. Yeah, YouTube gives and take away. I've got a couple real big YouTube projects that should bring all the kids back to the yard. Do I have employees at Laundromat? I have a part-time guy that's there. It's just my one part-time guy. The Laundromat's easy to manage compared to the rentals. The rentals take up all my time. So, biggest challenge in multifamily, not finding enough to buy. My multifamily's great, but my single families, do I show? Nope. $100 and I'll show you my feet. But you got like 2 minutes. Otherwise, you have to sign up to my non-existent OnlyFans. How do I manage to stay positive despite interaction with other people with rock thefts? I don't know. You guys have to realize you get the nicer version of Brandon when I'm live streaming. I feel miserable a lot dealing with these people, and I'm like, how can humanity continue to exist like this? Great weed for my tenants and trailer B12. I don't have B12, and if I did, I would. It wouldn't be trailer number 12 either. That would be selling pot. It'd be somebody else. Yeah, I can see you, Kara. I'm not doing the moderation on here, so I'm not going to show my feet for a like. That's an OnlyFans deal. Cheaper Chinese project that will break down. I'm trying to read. Very nice person. Yay, you hope my channel continues to grow. You can help my channel by doing a collab or something, because I am in this YouTube pit right now where they're not recommending my video to like anybody at this point. It's kind of weird. I am in the process of trying to hire a manager right now. It's going pretty good. I interviewed somebody Wednesday, and it went well. But we're thinking about it. I don't want to hop into anything super quick. So 2.5 hours. Wow, that's crazy. So, all right, get on Discord, I guess, if you want to talk later. Or I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm tired. That's it. I think. I don't know. I might take this fan. It's really nice. It's getting cooler in here finally. Of course, when I go outside, it'll be 20 degrees lower. So, all right. For all my properties, I might hire. I have a gentleman, like I said. His name's Randy. His last name's Bo Bandy. I guess that's what he said it was. And I'm talking about maybe making him trailer park manager. I also met this older lady. Her name was Barb. She said she would like to manage a trailer park too. So I don't know. I'm thinking about a manager for my rentals and then one for the trailer park. So all right. Yeah, I do not like property managers for the most part. So yeah, like the video if you want to. Foreign real estate, absolutely not. So all right, have fun. I'm on Discord a lot, so you are my greatest fans. So this is how small of a town I live in. My friend Eddie, that's my personal trainer that we do the gym stuff on, this was his shirt till his wife decided she didn't like it, so she gave it to Goodwill. I regularly buy clothes from the thrift store. I showed up to Eddie's to work one day. He's like, "Did you get that shirt from Goodwill?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "That was my shirt." That's how small of a town I live in. I wear Eddie's clothes, and it was not planned. It's crazy. So, all right, guys, I went in the live stream. I appreciate all of you guys who showed up and watched. Be sure to like and subscribe to my video. Like my videos whenever you see them if they're new. Subscribe to the channel, help support it. And here soon, I'm going to start showing you guys exactly where the money that I get from like these Ridge sponsorships goes to. I still got a stack of their stuff I have to give away. So thank you guys again. I'll see you later. And I'm going to drink my hillbilly gallon of water because I'm so freaking thirsty. I've talked for 2.5 hours. It's